Raider Nation, what's going on? It's Mitchell Renz here, host of the Raiders Report, and I hope everyone had an amazing weekend. I do apologize that I felt like every time Raiders breaking news happened this weekend, I had something going on with my wife, something going on with my wife's family, and I know you all know how much I pride myself on being able to stay up to date with all things going on around the Raiders. At the same time, I appreciate how many people reached out to me over the weekend and said, Mitch, don't worry about it. Happy wife, happy life. Though today is actually a really big day for the nation. It's also a really big day for our head coach here. And Klint Kubiak, welcome to Raider Nation. Happy birthday, my guy, 39 years old. We went from having a 74-year-old head coach to basically slicing that one in half. 39 years old. Happy birthday to our brand new head coach, Klint Kubiak. Here's what we're going to be talking about on today's show. We're going to get into some news, some rumors. If anybody has any questions about any of the coaches that the Raiders hired over the weekend, I'm happy to sit here and talk to you all about my thoughts on Rob Leonard, Andrew Janocko, Rick Dennison, our new safeties coach, Matt Robinson, our new defensive line coach. Anybody out there that you got questions on, I'm happy to discuss any way, shape, or form. Then, since I've done this show before about like free agent targets that you compare with Klint Kubiak, I decided to look at some free agent targets on defense that I just thought would be a really good pairing with Rob Leonard. Also, I got asked about Tyreek Hill. I got asked about so many different things this weekend, and I'm going to be real. There were certain topics that I did want to discuss, certain topics that I did not want to discuss, but on my off-season rumors show, there's going to be three storylines. One about an offensive lineman. One's going to be quick on Tyreek Hill because y'all know where I probably stand on that one already. And then Jim Schwartz. That was actually a name again brought up and saying that, hey, he could join the Raiders. Not as a defensive coordinator, but he could join the Silver and Black and end up helping out. If you want to get into our duck race today, $20 Venmo, Mitchell Renz, 365. But if you want a shout out here on today's program, there's a reason why I'm rocking my Wear Kubiak hoodie today. There's a reason why I think a lot of Raiders fans were excited about getting Klint. It's because we wanted a young, innovative, offensive-minded head coach. And you know what? Being able to celebrate our coach's birthday for 39, it's a lot better than when we did it for 74 for Pete Carroll and almost burnt this entire place down. So if you want to shout out here on today's program, spam HBD, because you know what? We're going to be giving away a Wear Kubiak shirt or hoodie today. It's really kind of up to you, whatever the heck you want. Though, I'm not saying that I don't like the T-shirts. I like the shirts a lot, but I think the hoodies are really, really sick.
Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday. Let's go!
Rustin Long, what up, sports dude? Lawrence Bynes, Def Halo, what's up? I got 5-star down there below. Wolverine, 0808, Scully Raider, Luis in the building.
And you know what?
Jorge, I see y'all. I'm rocking with y'all. 630 people already here.
If you liked the video and you're spamming HBD, I'm going to give away 2 free entries for the Wear Kubiak raffle today. How about that?
We're giving away a Kubiak hoodie or T-shirt today on the program. So if you're spamming HBD, my guy Chugs is going to enter you in the raffle. Now, some of y'all are probably wondering, well, Mitch, how are some other ways I can get in this raffle? We do have some deals today. Again, nothing too crazy on Tuesday, because I'll tell you this, I'm really kind of saving up for a wild day on Friday. My dad's going to be in town. It's going to be my birthday. Also, LA Crash Dog, I think, is going to be inducted into Mount Raidermore. So I'm telling y'all this right now. I don't say this often. Save your money for Friday. It's going to be a freaking party, man. So if you super chat on today's show, you're going to be entered in for that Kubiak raffle. The way that I'm doing it is this. I just saw we got a $10 super chat. You get 10 raffle tickets. If you send in a $5 super chat, you're going to get 5 raffle tickets. If you send in a $100 super chat, you get 100 raffle tickets. It's as simple as that. However much you spend, that's how many raffle tickets you get here on today's program. If you want to put some money in your pocket, $20 Venmo. I just saw Brian Baca, first one here in the building. And I also know that not everybody can super chat. So that's why Chugs is giving away some free entries right now. And then if you want to bang for Klint, I don't know if Klint Kubiak will ever come across this show. But I do like to believe in my heart of hearts that coaches, players, I know for a fact, watch this program. Maybe Klint Kubiak stumbles across this, and I do think this. If somebody were to bang for me on my birthday, I'd be like, you know what, man, that's pretty freaking awesome. So if you're trying to bang today for Klint, you already know we're banging today for Klint Kubiak. And I think if we get enough bangs, I don't know what's going to happen today, but I can make you guys a hell of a deal to get our – how about this? If we get 3 bangs today for Klint's birthday, I'll start off Friday's show with a boot. Because I'm already ready to go. I already got my whiskey that LCA told me to get for my dad's showing. It's one of his favorite types of whiskeys. I got it sitting over here. My shout out to LCA. He's like, you got to get Pendleton whiskey, which I've never heard of. Have you ever heard of it? I was like, I got to get some Pendleton whiskey. So we're going to be partying on Friday.
I cheated. I actually gave 3 free tickets away.
All right, I'll allow it.
I gave one to Robert Jansen, one to Killicali, 559, and one to Peter Bueno, 14.
Got it.
Do you feel bonita? Well, you look bonita.
What is that?
I don't know. It's just something that's stuck in my head from Family Guy.
Well, Bonita, I don't know. I used to talk to this. She was one of my friends. She actually used to cut my hair back in the day when I first moved down here. Her dog's name was Bonita, and it's actually one of the reasons why Alex and I are back together. It's a totally random story. I had to house sit and watch her dog because her dog, I was one of the only people that her dog wouldn't just hide underneath the bed when he was around. So the story is I got a new phone. I get a phone call at midnight, and it's Alex. And at this time, I didn't have her number saved because, again, I just got a new phone. She called me super drunk. She's like, I need you to pick me up. I'm locked out of my sister's house. So picked up Alex. Nothing happened. I swear to y'all, nothing happened. Promise. She was her tits were lit. It was it's a hell of a night. But I actually don't know if that night if that night doesn't happen, I don't even know if Alex and I are married.
Well,
Neil.
You look bonita.
Oh, man. What's up, Mitch? You were absolutely right. This year feels different. We're not even started yet, and I haven't been this excited since 2016. Real one for life, finally going in the right direction. O'Neal, and it does feel different, and you can call me crazy, and I'm not the only Raider fan. I mean, O'Neal, I bet you when you look at yourself in the mirror, you're like, am I really this psycho again? Because, it's every offseason. You're going to be hopeful. You're going to be excited about what's happening. But then also, I think when you look at this offseason, you compare it to last offseason, 2024, 2023, 2022, you compare it to every single offseason. If we were to power rank everything that we have, this would be the number one offseason. And it's just because of everything that we have from a free agency, draft. I mean, it's all sitting there for us right now.
Sam's laughing at us.
I mean, I don't blame any NFL fan.
Can we get some F Sams in the chat? Executive producer Sam Brown is in the building, and he is laughing in Raider Nation's face right now.
And there's a part of me, I laugh in my own face a little bit.
Gosh.
Because you got to be kind of delusional to have faith every single offseason. But then at the end of the day, if I'm really just looking at what our coaching staff looks like, because I actually think that our coaching staff is a good gamble.
Spam F Sam or drop a peanut or a horse in the comment section. Sam's allergic to both those things. So you can drop a peanut, drop a horse, or an F Sam down below because our guy Sam is allergic to peanuts and horses.
And basically everything else under the sun. Rustin Long, Sports Dude, Zalesbo in the building. What up, Cody Cook?
Oh, yeah,
Thank
we got
you so
peanuts
much.
in the chat. Peanuts in the chat. Sam's going to have to leave.
Rob Fravor getting in our duck race. Rob, I gotcha. Hey, Zeus Franco in the duck race.
Rustin,
I gotcha.
That is correct. And his favorite team is the Broncos. Allergic to horses and a donkey fan.
That's a tough one. That's a tough one. Cody, appreciate you. Reezy, can you tell us more about the Raiders Gala? So the Raiders Gala is essentially it's a charity event to raise money for, I forget what the exact, where the exact money goes, but I know it's a charity. It's always in May. It's invite only, and because I know somebody that gets to go every single year, sometimes you get to bring a +1. I'm going to be one of his +1, so he's one of the biggest Raiders donors that there are. And again, you're talking about people that got just a lot of money in their bank account, money that I wish that I had, money that made Raider Ron type jealous type money. But I don't have the date yet. All I know is it's going to be in May, but I'll be at that Raiders gala. I'll get to meet Mark Davis. I'll get to meet a bunch of other people that I've had conversations with, but really, really looking forward to it. But that's what I know so far about the Raiders gala. Last year was supposed to be the 15th of May, but my wife now, she decided to schedule our couple shower on that day, so I could not go. I don't think Mark Davis would bang with me, no, because I don't think my checkbook is big enough. I mean, the things that are sold at these galas, it's FU type of money, and I don't have FU type of money. Let's go to Caleb Tarr wearing my Namdi jersey to my gig in OKC on Saturday. Bro, you're rocking a Namdi Asamoah. I mean, that's a hell of a Raiders jersey.
Are you talking about the actor?
Like, what?
You talking about the actor Namdi Asamoah?
The act does he act?
Yeah, that's all I know him from. He's an actor.
Why was he supposed to play corner and he was acting like a shutdown and he's not one?
No, he's an actual actor. Look it up.
Namdi Asamoah is an actor.
Yes.
I don't know if I believe you.
Look it up.
I'm like worried to look it up.
Do Namdi Asamoah acting.
I'll have to.
I think he's been in like Law and Order.
Really?
Yes.
Yes, sir. I mean, hey, Chugs is 100% right. All right, hey, fair enough. I'm shocked by that. Caleb, I love the jersey. What's y'all's most random Raider jersey that you could wear to something like that? Like, we all have that one random Raiders jersey.
I've already decided if I go to any Raiders event, the Raiders Gala, whatever, I'm rocking Zalesbo.
I mean, if you want to talk about kind of like a backhanded, like slap in the face to a player that's at one of those things, like you could wear any player, and you're like, nah, I'm gonna wear this jersey instead.
Dude, I'm rocking the Zalesbo, and I'm going. That's one of the best Raider fans of all time.
I mean, think about.
I'll act like they're
Adam
crazy.
Butler would come up to you like, "Oh, bro, appreciate you wearing that 69 jersey," and you're like, "Sorry, it's a Zalesbo."
Like, low key. I would make them feel crazy for not knowing who Zalesbo is.
Honestly, dude, you don't know. Rebel, new pick. Who he? Tuna top 5 best pancakes on Pancake Day. Boy,
I have my list already.
Already?
Yes.
It's that quick. You are.
Yeah.
Chugs is like, in case anybody asked, my top 5 pancakes today. I am chocolate chip's going to be number 1 for me.
Chocolate chip. Then I'm going banana nut.
Interesting. I'm in.
Going blueberry.
Okay.
A recent one that I've really liked, but maybe it's a little bit cheating, cinnamon roll donut or cinnamon roll pancake.
Okay, I'm on board.
Where they put like the cinnamon and like they put a little glaze on top.
Probably a little bit of a cheat, but I'm kind of on the same board there.
And then number 5, I think I'll just go with classic. Just like buttermilk.
Just a classic pancake.
Yeah.
I like it. Rebel, shout out to you, brother. Shout out to you, real cowboy. F. Sam, you already know.
F. Sam, F. Sam, F. Sam, F. Sam.
Happy birthday, Klint Kubiak. We are live right now here on the Raiders Report. And reminder, if you want to get your questions, your comments on the program, use hashtag Raiders to skip the line. Or you can super chat. And super chat will get you like that Disney Fast Pass to the very, very front of the line here. Reminder, I'm going to be live today. We got 2 segments on tap for all of y'all, and then at the very end of the program, what we will do is we will end up doing that duck race. If you want a shot to win a weird Kubiak shirt or hoodie, you got to super chat on today's show. $1 equals 1 ticket. $10 is 10 tickets. If you bang, you're going to get 100 flipping tickets, and you'd probably be the MVP on today's show. Somebody said Jerry Rice jersey. I mean,
Mitch,
pretty random.
Can I ask you a personal question?
Hit me.
What's the Raiders' biggest defensive need?
I don't see how this is personal, but everything.
Personal to you.
You know, I would say defensive end, defensive tackle is probably the biggest need, but there's a part of me where I think it's edge, and I only think it's edge because I am concerned Maxx Crosby gets traded this offseason, right? Like, if Mad Max ends up getting dealt, it's without a doubt edge because Malcolm Kuntz is going to be a free agent. So, like, to me, I'm just going to almost consider it getting after the quarterback. Defensive line in general, defensive tackle, defensive end. Like I saw somebody say DBs. DBs are important, but you can have average DBs if you're able to generate pressure with 4. Like you could have the best defensive backs in the NFL, but if you're not able to get after the quarterback, those DBs are going to struggle. You hired Rob Leonard as your defensive coordinator. You promoted him from defensive line. I am always going to be team, let's build the defensive line, and then we can shift our focus to the secondary. But, like, we have a need at linebacker. You have a need at corner. You have a need at free safety. You have a need at defensive tackle. You have a need at defensive end. I mean, every single one of those is a need, which is one of the reasons why we're going to talk about today some of the top free agents that the Raiders should consider signing. When you have the amount of money that we do, I think that you can walk into free agency.
Tyreek Hill.
No. You can, you can bring in exactly what you need. Defensive line is the biggest weakness from Devin Smith. I agree with you, dude. Like, yeah, we have so many team needs that we could sit here and say all of them. He goes from David. I don't know if Maxx Crosby's going to get traded, but I think you have to plan if you're the Raiders that, again, I think it's a true coin flip. Whether we like to admit it or not, I do. I think it is a true coin flip whether or not he stays or goes. Big Raz says defensive line, DB, and then linebacker. That's kind of the correct order I would go as well. I think you address your trenches, then you look in your secondary, and then you go out and you get the linebackers that you need. Besides Kubiak, what's your favorite move so far this offseason? Man. My favorite move this offseason, oh boy. I mean, what are the moves that we've done so far? We've hired an OC. We've hired a DC. We've ended up bringing over Rick Dennison. I think that was a smart move. Mike McCoy's an interesting one. I mean, my other favorite move of this offseason, can I say firing Pete Carroll? Like, if I honestly had to rank all the moves that have happened or not happened yet, the Raiders moving on from Pete Carroll, I think was the opening up of Pandora's box of being able to get Klint and get everything else that we got going in the right direction. But, I don't think my favorite moves have happened yet. To me, the number one move that I can't wait for is when Mendoza gets drafted.
You don't like Rob Leonard?
I do like Rob Leonard, but I was more excited when the Raiders fired Pete Carroll compared to hiring Rob Leonard.
What do you think was a better hire, Andrew Janocko or Rob Leonard?
Andrew Janocko, but not because, like,
one
to
calls
me,
plays and one doesn't, though.
Well, I think it depends how you look at it. Like, if I'm looking at it just OC, DC, I think Rob Leonard is a more qualified defensive coordinator than Andrew Janocko is at OC. But I think the way that you have to look at that is the reason why you hired Klint Kubiak is to be the best version of himself, and Andrew Janocko has helped Klint Kubiak be the best version of himself. So, like, I look at the Andrew Janocko as almost like the cherry on top for Klint Kubiak more than him. Like, OC, just straight up OC grade, it's probably a C. Where Rob Leonard getting his shot, I think it's more of a B. But I think the Janocko deal helps Kubiak be the best version of himself. So that's kind of how I look at it. Raider G says it's Rob, just spitting facts. I think firing all the Carrolls count from Big Raz. And I agree with you. Like, again, I look at that question as, what was my level of happiness? Dude, you could also make the argument like this offseason is when we officially locked in the number 1 overall pick. Like, that was the most excited I might have been. Fletch, once I realized I have the same, I think you mean birthday, as Kubiak and Michael Jordan, I knew this year was going to be special. Mark my words. Fletch, hey, man, so far the MVP on today's show, February 17th. Klint Kubiak's birthday, Michael Jordan's birthday. You also share a birthday week with me. I don't know if that matters to you at all, but very, very legendary people. I think I would rate it, sorry, is it MJ, Kubiak, and then Fletch? I don't know. Fletch Raider, shout out to you, man. We almost got 1,000 people here in the building. And again, the way that Tuesday shows operate are when you guys get your questions in, we're going to be able to answer them. And I think I just saw one from
somebody keeps on asking about the Kubiak hoodies. I'll put the link in there again. They are available if you go to chatsports.com/ I'll just put the Raiders Report gear. Go here. RR Shop. That's the easiest way. It shows you all the shirts, so you can get the Kubiak one.
Rose said, who's our offensive line coach? I don't know if we've named an O-line coach yet, but I do think that there is a chance it could be Rick Dennison. So the Raiders, they are expected to hire Rick Dennison. He was the run game coordinator in Seattle. It was the name that I talked about a bunch. In my Raiders coaches predictions video where I predicted, Janocko to be the OC, I predicted Rick Dennison to be the offensive line coach in that. Now, you're good, Fletch. Believe me, I can put 2 to 2 together. I can speak Raider fan.
Mitch might not be good at math, but 2 and 2 together,
I got you.
He gets it.
I got you.
Together.
I see Daniel McDonald. What's up, man? DJ Watt here in the building. What impact does Leonard hire have on Tyree's future? This is a phenomenal question, Def. I actually don't know if, Rob Leonard getting promoted has any impact whatsoever on Tyree Wilson. And I only say that because Tyree Wilson's entering his final year of his deal, right? They're going to decline his fifth-year option. There's no chance the Raiders are going to pick it up. He was drafted in the first round of 2023. But what I'm really hoping is that Tyree Wilson, from what I understand, has made it pretty clear to Raiders coaches that he wants to play defensive tackle more than play defensive end. I had family members of Tyree Wilson reach out to me and said, Mitch, we agree with you that he should be a 3-tech for the silver and black. If they still put Tyree Wilson at defensive end, maybe it's just the Raiders going, well, at this point, I would rather Tonka Hemingway, J.J. Pegues, John Alot, some of these other dudes just get some of those extra reps. But what I'm hoping is, again, if I believe in Rob Leonard the way that I do, I think one of the things that Leonard is good at is putting players in the best situation to help them succeed. If the Raiders are trying to put Tyree Wilson in the best situation to succeed, I think you're going to line him up a little bit more at defensive tackle because he just doesn't have the quickness. He doesn't have the moves to win on a consistent basis as an edge. Where he wins is bull rush. So if I was a coach, I would tell Tyree Wilson to put 20, 25 pounds on, and I'd say, all right, you want to be a defensive tackle? Let's put a little bit of meat on those bones, and let's make sure that you look like a defensive tackle. Because right now he looks like an edge trying to play defensive tackle. What up, Tave? You said based off of the coordinators, Kubiak could be an A+ or go down. With Rob Leonard and Andrew as coordinators, what's the final grade on the hire? I still can't give a final grade yet. I don't know who the quarterback coach is. The big one's offensive line coach. I don't know what the offensive line coach is going to be.
Is Rick Dennison the O-line?
They haven't announced it. So they actually haven't even announced that Rick Dennison is officially hired. He's just expected to join the Raiders. But he could be the run game coordinator. He could be the offensive line coach. To me, the number one job that's really going to dictate how high that grade is, it's going to be quarterback coach. It's going to be offensive line coach. We just don't know who those dudes are yet. But based on getting Janocko, that helps out the Klint Kubiak hire in my book. Rob Leonard makes me a little bit nervous just because, again, he hasn't called plays. They're putting a lot of trust in Leonard's hands. But then also at the exact same time, what the Raiders have done a very good and interesting thing this offseason is they have a lot of young coaches. And they do. They have tons of young coaches. But now they're also adding in a Mike McCoy's got some experience. You add in a Rick Dennison who's got a lot of experience. We'll talk about one of these rumors today, Tav, but there's some people out there that think that Jim Schwartz could still join the Raiders as a senior assistant.
Yeah, good mix of really old and really young.
Yep. What? Huh? They have experienced coaches that don't have as big of titles as some of the younger coaches that have the bigger titles. It's interesting. Bank, what's up, man? After drafting Mendoza, what's our next pick, offense or defense, and what position? This is a Rubik's Cube of an answer because I can go in so many different directions. It really depends what you do in free agency. If I'm the Raiders, I invest in my offensive line, I invest in wide receiver in free agency. I'm going to spend more money on the offensive side of the football because that then makes it easier for me to draft Mendoza number 1 overall. If the offseason goes the way that I'm hoping the offseason goes, I'm expecting that pick at 36 to be a defensive tackle, to be a defensive end, to help us be able to go out and get after the quarterback. So that's where I lean. I lean more defense. But then again, with the amount of holes that we have, if we go out and we sign all these players on free agency and our biggest glaring need, let's say, is linebacker, safety, corner, that could change my answer as well. But right now where I'm sitting, I'd say defensive end, defensive tackles where I'd look at pick 36. Francisco, what's going on, dude? Mitch, first time in a long time. If the Ravens tag Lindenberg, what options do we have? Keep JPJ at center, fired up for 2026, return to greatness. You're looking at me weird. What did I say? Lindenbaum. Sorry. Lindenberg.
It sounds like a city in Germany.
Probably, actually.
Francisco, the one thing that I'll say is this, is the NFL, it is impossible to tag a center or a guard. And I'll tell you why. The way they do the franchise tag, they take the top, I believe it's the top 5 or top 10 highest paid at that position.
There should be a listicle from the video Reed and I just filmed. Top 5, what it costs to franchise tag a player.
Yep, here we go. And the thing is, with the NFL, it doesn't do it by position on the offensive line.
So stupid.
It just does O-line in general. So $27.9 million is way more than what he's going to get in the open market right now. Like, they would be dumb to – if you're a team and you franchise tag a center or a guard, you are dumb. The highest paid center and guards make $20 million.
Yeah, like Linderbaum, if he gets $20, $21 million, like that's a massive, massive paycheck for a center.
I think the highest paid center right now is at 20.
Yeah, that checks out.
The guy for the Bears that they signed, Drew Dahlman from the Falcons. I believe he's the highest paid.
Yeah, that probably checks out. 27.9. And again, y'all know how much I love Tyler Linderbaum. Just don't think it's going to happen. The other reason why I really don't think it's going to happen is because you got a brand new regime. So I don't see a brand new regime giving a deal to a center that's like, again, I mean, that would be, I'm trying to think of an example. I mean, that's such a massive overpay. And it really, really, truly is such a massive overpay. So because you got a brand new regime, and the Baltimore Ravens historically have always been a team that they trust their ability to draft. So they probably think, well, yes, we like Linderbaum, but if that's what it's going to cost, that's just not going to happen. So I'm really not worried at all in Baltimore tagging Linderbaum. Like, the guy that I'm the most concerned about is probably Alec Pierce, because I do wonder if Indianapolis could. But again, $28 million for Pierce is, I love Alec Pierce. That's too much money, though. But I'm not worried about it. I also, you guys know how much I love JPJ at center. But what's really important for the Raiders is you got to have the best front 5. I think that JPJ at center is 95% chance of what's going to happen. But if you go out and you get Linderbaum, then I think putting him at center, because he kind of ran more of a zone scheme at Iowa, which is very similar to like what Kubiak ran. But you get JPJ and Tyler Linderbaum together, and I really do think that good things are going to happen for this ground game. Genty's going to be a happy guy. Though I also will say this, Genty, you got to get a new sweater, dude. I've seen Genty, the sweater Genty had on at the Klint Kubiak presser, and I mean, don't get me wrong, I got sweaters that I love. Same sweater that I saw him wear at the Super Bowl media row. He's clearly rocking a certain sweater that he loves.
Some of the smartest people in the world wear the same outfit every day because they say, you know what, that's 2 seconds less that I have to think about what I'm wearing and more about what's on my mind. So maybe he's just so deep into his bag that he doesn't even have time to pick out different sweaters.
He's like, this is what I'm rocking, no matter what. S. Mitch, do you know as far as the homework on players in the draft, you could fully kill it? You picked off, hang on, tackle Diego Pounds. And is there something else to this?
That's D'Angelo Pons.
There's a lot of screaming.
Mitch!
If you picked up off tackle Diego Pons, I mean, I don't know. Like, am I confused here on this question?
No,
I'm confused myself.
I can decipher it now. I reread it. He's saying, Mitch, do your homework.
Okay.
Pick up a tackle and get Diego Pavia. Is what I'm guessing.
I mean, I have no interest in Diego Pavia at all. Like, he's not an NFL quarterback. I think the statements that he made during the Heisman Trophy ceremony are really going to kill his draft stock. And I'll also say this, like, I wouldn't want to pair Diego Pavia with Fernando Mendoza because I actually think what Pavia said after the Heisman, like, if I would have been Mendoza, I would have felt some type of way about it. I don't think Mendoza would ever show you anything. But, yeah, Daniel's like, there's no offensive tackle named Diego. Well, that's why I was like, I don't know what this question is. So, off tackle, Diego Pounds. I don't know if you were talking about Pons, the cornerback from Indiana. I mean, I like him a lot, but if we're talking about Diego Pavia, no, I have no interest in Diego Pavia, and neither should the Raiders, quite frankly. So, coming up here, I think he told you to pound sand from Luis. That would make more sense. Yeah, that would make more sense.
Oh, no, he said, no, there's an OT named Diego Pounds.
Oh, there is.
Okay.
Okay, hang on. Let me look him up. So, Diego Pounds, Ole Miss, 6'6", 335 pounds. See, here's the thing, y'all. I don't have as much on these guys yet. I will start to do my homework position by position. Let me go here. I mean, I don't even see this guy. Diego Pounds. Yeah, I don't. I'm looking through some of our lists that we have. I mean, he did play over 1,000 snaps last season on Ole Miss, but I don't know if he's going to get drafted because he played the last 3 seasons at left tackle. I don't think any of those years are all that productive to a point where it's like, wow, we got to go out and get him. And I think that we're a little bit more solidified at left tackle because we have Charles Grant who could be that backup to Colt Miller in case we want to still go out and add a right tackle. Sorry I didn't fully understand the question, but yeah, I don't know. Off tackle Diego Pounds. I'll try to do better in the future, y'all. I promise you. News coming in here from Jordan Schultz. Mike Evans wants to continue playing and fully intends to play this upcoming season in the NFL, which I don't really think is all that surprising. But Mike Evans will return to the NFL in 2026 based on what Jordan Schultz just said and then also based on what was reported by, her name is Kimberly, and I'm guessing she covers the Bucks.
Yeah.
So, because Schefter just reposted it. All right, y'all, here's what's going to happen.
Also, I just
what do you got?
No, I can already tell this week is going to be full of clips from Maxx Crosby talking to Caleb Williams.
I mean, I was just talking to somebody who was with Max all weekend, and they said it was a lot of fun. They got a lot of content. They went out there for the NBA All-Star Weekend. The next interviews they have, I think they told me were it was Ryan and Sarah Safari. I don't know. Am I tripping? Those names don't ring a bell to me. You know who they are?
Never heard of her.
Sarah Safari? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, this person, Sarah Safari's got 3.3 million Instagram followers. So clearly she's doing something. Fitness influencer? From what I understand, that's going to be the next pod that drops on Crosby's show.
Should have met with her at the NFL media and gotten her to work at Chat Sports.
If only. If only. Not going to get into that. Coming up here on today's show, the top free agent targets on defense to pair with Rob Leonard. And then I'm going to call it a triple dose of off-season rumors around the Las Vegas Raiders. We're going to talk about a player that apparently could get cut. I'm going to talk about a coach that I think would fire y'all up. And then there was a certain player that was released that, unfortunately, I got to talk about today. I didn't really want to hit on it, but I got told that this is a topic that needs to be discussed on the Raiders Report.
Or else.
Or else. Yeah, Igny says 6'6", 330 will not work in Kubiak's scheme. Pay attention. So what, people who are 6'6", 330 can't play with Kubiak? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Interesting. What up, Miggy? Appreciate you tuning in, my guy.
We got PP coming up.
Yep.
I have a
You
baseball one. You want me to
That's fine.
move that over?
Yeah, whatever. I didn't know that until literally right before we were getting ready to go that it was Prize Picks. So
all right,
we'll get it going. So coming up here, y'all, I got 2 segments on tap for everybody tuned in to the Raiders Report today. And a friendly reminder, if you're trying to get in our duck race, it is a $20 Venmo at Mitchell Renz 365. The last name that I saw in was Jeremy Valve. So we got Brian Baca, Rob Fravor, Jesus, Rustin, and Jeremy are in the race as it stands. $20 Venmo to win $50.
Also, is it 5 or 6?
5.
It is 5?
Yep, I changed it.
All right.
We got it. Miggy, I will get to that right after we get done doing this show. And again, if anybody gets any of these questions in, Super Chats, #Raiders, we will answer more questions after this next segment. And then I got one more segment, and then I'm going to hop on out of here today. So, Day. You already know Day. Coming up, let's talk about some free agent targets here on defense for Rob Leonard. Raider Nation, what's going on? It's Mitchell Renz here, host of the Raiders Report. And coming up on today's show, I'm going to give you the perfect 5 free agents that Klint Kubiak and this regime should sign for Rob Leonard on that defense this offseason. We know that we got a lot of money. Top 2 money according to Over the Cap, top 2 money according to Spotrac that we could spend in NFL free agency. Now, the way that I'm going to do today's show is I'm going to give you the perfect candidate at defensive end, defensive tackle, linebacker, cornerback, and safety. Those are the 5 free agents. But, let's also face the facts here. I'm going to add in a few honorable mentions only because this show is designed around perfect fits for Rob Leonard. Because Rob Leonard comes from that defensive line background, you're going to see more DTs and more edges that I'm going to talk about on the program. Here's the thing, though. I'm hoping that the Raiders crush free agency. I'm hoping that Tom Brady, John Spytek, Klint Kubiak, Rob Leonard, frickin' Andrew Janocko, every single coach that we have gets all on board of we need to make sure we hit it out of the park. If the Raiders make a big-time signing, I'm going to go live. And if you want the number 1 Raiders free agency coverage, the amount of live content that we do in March will blow your effing mind. Hit that subscribe button, turn on those notifications, because breaking news around free agency is when this show gets really lit. Let's go to the first here, perfect free agent for Rob Leonard on the defensive side of the football, and it's going to be edge rusher Odafe Oweh. And I've talked about this name a few times on this program already, and when I talked about my perfect free agents many, many weeks ago, Odafe Oweh was a name that I brought up. One, because we need all the extra help that we could potentially get at the defensive end position. Now, he is listed at some places as an outside linebacker, but let's face the facts here. If the Raiders go out and they get him, he's going to play edge. He's going to play defensive end. I'm not saying they can't line him up as an outside linebacker, but the fact that Oweh worked with Leonard in 2022 in Baltimore, that I think matters. He did only have 3 sacks that season. He was still, I think, trying to get his feet wet, and he was trying to, I think, figure out where exactly he fit best in the NFL. Also, though, the fact that Leonard was the outside linebacker coach in Baltimore, a little bit of overlap there. Mike McDonald was his DC from 2022 to 2023, which I believe is going to matter to Klint Kubiak because Kubiak just won a Super Bowl, and I do think he's going to model, and one of the reasons why I think that Rob Leonard ultimately got that promotion is because Leonard comes from the Mike McDonald tree. Klint Kubiak just had a lot of success with Mike McDonald. Now, if you're wondering why should this deal end up going down, well, he had 17.5 sacks the past 2 seasons combined. That's 34 games played. He's missed only 5 games since 2021. I need some consistency, and I need somebody that can pin his ears back and get after the quarterback. The 15 to 20 million, I'm not worried about because of the amount of money that we have, but if you're the Raiders, you need to find a Malcolm Kuntz replacement. Though you hiring Leonard does make me wonder if the Raiders could try to bring back Malcolm Kuntz, because I know Malcolm is very close to Leonard. Maxx Crosby, who posted on his social media, very excited about the Leonard hire. But I also am on boat of I would love for this team to kick Tyree Wilson to defensive tackle, kick him in on the inside. So when I think about the Raiders and the needs that they have, I'm starting to look at the defensive end, the edge rushing position, as a need that's a little bit higher up my priority list than I originally thought, because there are Maxx Crosby rumors, and I don't know if he's going to get traded or not. You got to replace Malcolm Kuntz, no doubt about it. And then if this team was smart, you would put Tyree Wilson at defensive tackle. So in my personal opinion, that's at minimum 2 edges that you're going to have to replace. So if you don't have the amount of money that you want to spend, maybe you decide to go a little bit cheaper, right? Odafe Owe is if you want to spend big. If you want to try to maybe go out and add 2 pieces, well, then I would try to piggyback off of maybe one of these 3 players over here. You could look at a Jalen Phillips, who's got ties to Rob Leonard. You could look at a K. Levon Chasen, who's got ties to Rob Leonard. You could also look at Boye Mafe, who's got ties to Klint Kubiak and that staff overall. But these are all edge rushers that I don't think are going to be as much as Owe. But they still are going to be expensive because it's the defensive end position. So I didn't do this when I talked about Kubiak perfect free agents on offense, because I think edge is the number 1 spot that the Raiders might invest in on that defensive side during free agency. Let's go to defensive tackle next up here on the Raiders Report, and it's a name that I've mentioned frequently. It's John Franklin Myers. The Raiders promoted Rob Leonard. He was the defensive line coach. I'm not saying that this means that they are going to invest in the defensive line even more, but there is a part of me that wonders, like, what Klint Kubiak said at the presser, what John Spytek, essentially, people told me last offseason about building in the trenches, and it's just really important for this team to understand the importance of winning in the trenches all the flipping time. And Myers, he's got AFC West experience the past 2 seasons in Denver. The Raiders are very young at defensive tackle outside of Adam Butler, but also Leonard's defensive line background should make him want to invest in the flipping trenches, because I don't mean to be rude, but this has got to be one of the worst defensive tackle rooms in all of the NFL. I'm hoping Tonka Hemingway and J.J. Pegues take that next step. I don't know if you're going to bring back Thomas Booker. Yes, John Olalu has shown you some good in flashes, but still at the end of the day, Adam Butler being your number 1 defensive tackle, I'm sorry, that scares the absolute hell out of me. And if the Spotrac market value is consistent, and if it's right, I will pay $7.5 million for Franklin Myers every single day of the week, back-to-back seasons with 7+ sacks. I believe that he's the top DT on the open market, and you need a Christian Wilkins replacement. So if you're the Raiders, go out and spend money on a guy that's 29 years old. Like, I know that sometimes people get worried of, the Raiders are rebuilding. Yes, the Raiders are rebuilding, and we need to properly rebuild. But a 29-year-old defensive tackle, you're seeing DTs play into their mid-30s. I actually think we're about to hit the prime of John Franklin Myers' career. And if you want to make Maxx Crosby happy, you want to make those other edge rushers around you better. Hell, if you want to make the young defensive tackles on your team better, make sure you spend some money on the defensive line. So I know that these 2 players are 2 of the top names on the open market, but when you have the amount of money that we do, you can go get the top guys. And that's what I want the Raiders to do at the defensive line position. So you guys can let me know down below. Who is the perfect, and I mean the perfect, free agent target for Rob Leonard? You're about to get it with a YouTube ad break. While that ad is playing, I want you to scroll on down and give me your answer. My answer coming up here in just a moment. The perfect free agent target for Rob Leonard and this defense, I'm going to say, is Odafe Owe, because of his ability to get after the quarterback. When you have the amount of needs that we do in the secondary, at linebacker, on the defensive line, I'm a believer if you win on the defensive line, it'll make your linebackers better. It'll make your corners better. It'll make your safety better. If you invest in a safety and you're still not winning in the trenches, that doesn't mean that safety is going to be nearly as good as what you paid. You want to spend money in the trenches, guys. Let's go here to the next position, and it's going to be linebacker. And we got a lot of missing pieces here at the linebacker position. Before I tell you who I believe is the perfect, and I mean perfect linebacker For Rob Leonard in this Raiders defense, I'm going to tell you about our sponsor here, Prize Picks. And you guys know how much I love Prize Picks. Shoot your shot on Prize Picks and get $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5. That's right. Prize Picks is now giving you $50 in lineups when you sign up and play your first $5. Prize Picks makes every dunk, every dime, and every board that much more exciting. So don't miss the chance to get started on America's #1 app for sports picks. You can find your community on Prize Picks with the new social feeds feature. You can share Prize Picks with your friends, copy lineups from winners with a single click, copy lineups that you like, and use them as your inspiration for your own picks. Heck, you can even follow me and other chat sports guys on Prize Picks. Now, this is not my lineup. This is Jeremy's 4-pick power play, and what's crazy is we're looking at baseball. You guys know I'm a baseball guy through and through. Kyle Tucker taking the less. A little bitter on that one. Yep. Jeremy's giving him a middle finger right now behind the scenes. And you know what? If you want to roll with this lineup, you can do it. It's safe and secure. It's available in all 50 states. So join America's #1 fantasy sports app right now by downloading the Prize Picks app today. Use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. The perfect linebacker for Rob Leonard is Devin Lloyd, the #1 linebacker on the open market. We have money to spend. If I don't need to penny pinch, I'm not going to penny pinch because unlike on the offensive side of the ball, I went cheaper at running back and I went cheaper at tight end when I did my perfect free agents on offense. Do you know why? We didn't need those positions as much. I was willing to spend on Tyler Linderbaum, just like I'm willing to spend at edge, defensive tackle, at linebacker. If it's a need and we need to address it, to me, the only way you're the Raiders and you go out and you sign Devin Lloyd is if you know that you're going to go cheap at those other linebacker positions because Lloyd is a true do-it-all guy. Now, we don't know who the linebacker coach is yet, so I do think, depending on who you hire, this answer can change to me. But 4 linebackers set to hit the open market in Jamal Adams, Devin White, Landon Roberts, John Raddington. I do wonder, can you replace Adams, White, and Landon Roberts all with Devin Lloyd? And I have no interest in bringing back White. I have no interest in bringing back Landon Roberts. But the fact that he is the top linebacker on the market, the fact that he can stop the run, he can drop back into coverage, you can blitz him if you need to. Yeah, the market value at $20.1 million is a little bit rich for my blood, but because I said I'm willing to spend some money, there is another linebacker that I do think could be interesting for Rob Leonard and this defense if, let's just say, you don't want to spend the $20 million. If you're looking for a player who's probably the $7-8 million range, I'm going to look at Nakobe Dean. And the reason why I'm going to look at Nakobe Dean is because he's a really good blitzer. Actually, he's one of the best blitzing linebackers in the National Football League. I also am hoping that Rob Leonard takes some of the things that he learned from Brian Flores. If you don't know, Leonard was working underneath Flores in Miami. I think it was from 2019 to 2021. Flores is somebody that brings the pressure. And I do think that Nakobe Dean is no doubt, if you don't want to spend money on Lloyd, I will then say Nakobe Dean is the second best linebacker option that the Raiders should look at. But again, that's me basing it off of if this team plans on being Brian Flores style, Mike McDonald style, bringing some pressure, Dean can get after the quarterback. He's not the best in the run stopping. He can cover pretty well. He's a good athlete. He's a little bit undersized. But that's if you don't want to spend money on Lloyd. If you can spend money on linebacker, go get Devin Lloyd. If you want to go cheaper, younger option, you don't want to spend that much money, Nakobe Dean is your second best option here for Rob Leonard. Let's go to the cornerback position. This one has actually changed recently for me. I used to mention Jamel Dean a lot. My only concern now with Jamel Dean is the injuries. And I love Dean. I could make the argument with him and his relationship with John Spytek could be somebody to look at. But I also am sitting back here and I'm going, who is somebody that I know that I can rely on that I think is going to play this tough style that Klint Kubiak wants to be able to bring to the table? So I'm going to look at Reek Warren. Reek Warren was on the Seahawks. Obviously, they just won the Super Bowl. So does Klint Kubiak trust that guy a little bit more? So then you put somebody who's tough, he's physical. You can make the argument the best cornerback this offseason on the open market. Freak athlete with insane upside at 26 years old. I believe in Rob Leonard being a good coach. I really, truly do. The Raiders also decided to keep Joe Woods as a pass game coordinator, right? So because Joe Woods has got that connection, I look around the NFL and I just sit here and I go, can Joe Woods work with somebody like Reek? I hope that he can. But Eric Stokes on the open market. Darnay Holmes going to be on the open market. Because the Raiders have so many different needs at safety, so many different needs at corner, I also look at Reek Woolen as being this option that, hell, dude, he could play safety in my honest opinion. And I think that he's long and athletic, much like a Darian Porter. Yes, I know we talked about Reek being an option because we mentioned Pete Carroll's name so much this season, but I do also think that like Reek Woolen kind of fits with what players we already have here on this team. Long, athletic cornerbacks that are physical. Woolen has been predominantly healthy, but if you believe in your coaching staff, getting this guy at 26 years old, building with him over the next 2 to 3 years, like, I don't think people realize the upside that Reek Woolen truly, truly has. And I don't think we've even seen it yet. And if he hits that peak here in the next 3 years, look at the F out. He's a hell of a football player. Let's now go to the perfect safety option here for Rob Leonard and the Raiders defense. I'm going to say Jalen Hawkins of the New England Patriots. And the biggest reason why I'm saying Hawkins is because we need a center fielder. We need a true free safety. And I just need somebody that can cover. He hasn't missed more than 3 games in a season since 2021. He's also coming off a career year where he had 4 interceptions. $8.3 million, I don't think is a lot of money. But what this also allows this defense to do, it allows Jalen Hawkins to play free safety, to be your true center fielder. And then that allows Jeremy Chin to play strong safety, put him up near the box if you want to make him a box linebacker strong safety. It also allows Isaiah Paul-Lamau to play the position that he's supposed to play, and that is a hybrid safety, linebacker, box. You can't keep on putting Paul-Lamau as a free safety. You're just not using him in the correct way. So I look at how New England used Jalen Hawkins this past season, and at 79.0 coverage PFF grade on 51 coverage snaps, they used him the correct way. Tom Brady obviously values what Mike Vrabel has to say, and the Raiders, they obviously value what the defensive minds of New England have to say. I mean, they clearly do. You can't tell me otherwise. But 72 tackles, 6 PBUs last season, 5 quarterback hits, a career-high 4 interceptions at 28 years old, played college football in Cali. Like, if you get Jalen Hawkins, and again, it's not a lot of money, but the reason why I have him as the perfect guy, $8.3 million, if you sign Jalen Hawkins at $8.3 million, that allows you to spend bigger money at defensive end, at defensive tackle. And if you want to get cutesy, you could even spend it at linebacker and at cornerback. So to me, the perfect free agents that the Raiders should sign on defense for Rob Leonard at defensive end, Odafe Owe. Defensive tackle, John Franklin Myers. Linebacker, Devin Lloyd. Cornerback, Tyreek Woolen. Safety, Jalen Hawkins, but that's a free safety. If you want to take a screenshot, if you want to tag me on IG and on Twitter, please make sure you do so. I'm at Mitchell Renz, 365. Bayou Raider
Bang!
Because why the F not? Bayou, thank you both, Mitch and Chugs, for showing up as always. Proud of you both. Save a warrior as always. Love you, nation. It's crazy, man. Again, there's so much more proof that this show is so much more than just a YouTube channel. I was surfing the web yesterday, and my wife, she started her first job, or not first job, started her new job. Her first day was yesterday, and I was also on, duty because I had to pick up Alex's mom from the hospital. I had to take her there. I had to pick her up. She's fine. She was just on anesthesia, so she, couldn't drive. She said something to me. It made no sense. We both cracked up laughing. Anyway, I was surfing the web yesterday because I was sitting around for 2 hours and I couldn't do anything because I needed to be at home. in case Alex's mom called me and had me come pick her up. So I'm surfing the web, and I stumble across a YouTube channel. It was Navman's, and he interviewed David Zahn. And it was like Zahn and Navman. It was a late-night shenanigans show. And in that show, the sponsor on the bottom was Save a Warrior. So I think it's really cool how much you guys show up and show out for my guy Gunny, how much you show up and show out for each other. And if you don't know, go to saveawarrior.org. Make sure that you tell them Father Tom sent you. Bye, you dude. I appreciate this a lot. Actually, my wife and I, we were talking about you yesterday just because, she wanted to say thank you for everything that, you tried to do. And, again, you took time out of your day to help me and my family out, which I don't think you realize to anybody out there how much it does truly matter to us. If you do end up getting a Kubiak hoodie or T-shirt, shout out to you, Bio, because right now you got the most tickets. So by far the most tickets. And right now, the MVP of today's show, we're 2 bangs away from me starting Friday's stream off with a boot. And starting Friday's stream off with a boot, I'm telling y'all right now, is going to be troublesome for me. But it's also my birthday and my dad. We're going to be partying it up. Miggy, cheers, Mitch Chugs in the chat. We should sign Josh Jones and Rashid Shaheed, wide receiver. So Jones,
more of a backup.
Jones is a backup.
He's a swing tackle.
Yeah, I don't want to say Josh Jones is a Brandon Parker. I think Josh Jones is what we were hoping Brandon Parker would have turned into, somebody that can back you up at tackle. But then I would also make the argument you kind of already have that guy in Charles Grant. Like, at the end of the day, if you're the Raiders, and if you're not confident in Charles Grant playing right tackle, that means Charles Grant's going to be your backup tackle, right? Like, I then have confidence in Grant to play left tackle and confidence in him to play right tackle. If you're the Raiders and you don't have confidence in the guys that you have to play right tackle, whether that's DJ Glaze, Charles Grant, whoever, I think you got to try to go out and get Braden Smith. If you're unable to get Braden Smith, well, then we can open up a new can of worms of who we would look at for right tackle. But it's so important that you spend money in the right areas. The other thing that's interesting about Rashid Shaheed is, and I'm going to ask all of y'all, how much would you pay Rashid Shaheed per year? Because when I first started doing all my homework on free agent targets, I knew that Shaheed was with Kubiak in New Orleans, was with Kubiak. They traded for him in Seattle. But when you really look at the numbers, Klint Kubiak really did not use Rashid Shaheed all that much in his offense. Not saying that he's not an important aspect, because he does stretch the field. He does open up that ground game. But my question to everybody out there is, how much money per year would you pay Rashid Shaheed? Because if you look at what the value is for Shaheed, I don't know if I would want to spend that money. I think the last time that I checked on the Spotrac market value, I think the number was somewhere around, it was like $15 million. So they have Rashid Shaheed down here at $14.1 million. Why for yes and for no? Would you pay $14.1 million for Rashid Shaheed? I would not.
I don't have that kind of money.
Yeah, I definitely don't have that type of money. But like for a Raiders team, like you're going to pay him, I think $8 million is a lot. And I only say that because the final 9 games when he's in Seattle, 26 targets, 15 catches, 199 yards, no touchdowns.
What if I told you he gets you 2 kick return touchdowns, though?
That's great. That's still not $14 million. Like, the only way I can justify spending that amount of money on Rashid Shaheed is if they try to use him more. Or if you know that Dante Thornton Jr. is not going to be an option. The other argument I could make is if Ashton Genty's, let's say, averaging 5 yards per carry when Sheed's on the field compared to he's averaging 4.2 when he's not. Like, that can be a good investment, but at that price tag at $14 million, and if there's a team willing to give Shaheed $14 million, there's no way the Raiders can do that. Like, I love Rashid Shaheed. He offers you a lot of different things in special teams, field stretching ability, but the more and more I look at Kubiak's offense, the more I wonder, are they not going to go down that route? But I hear you. Those are 2 interesting names. Kev Morris, shout out to you for watching the show. We got 1,000 people here, over 1,000 people, yet only 407 likes.
What?
If you haven't yet, please, please, please.
Oh, my God.
Hit that like button. S. Dot coming back. Yep, Ole Miss. I think we got that. And two biggest, most aggressive guards on film, Texas DJ Campbell and Miami Anise Cooper.
S. Dot, I would bet money that you're a former offensive lineman. Because no one else is looking at 6th and 7th round offensive linemen as much as you right now.
I have not done my homework yet on these players.
DJ Campbell, I actually covered him in high school. He went to Arlington.
He went to Arlington?
Yeah. Which is down the road from us, about 20, 30 minutes away from us.
I know. I'm trying to find, Tom's got rankings, and
DJ Campbell's
these guys aren't showing up yet.
DJ Campbell's like a day 3 guard. He's going to go somewhere in day 3. Miami, Anise Cooper, I have not done my homework on that, but, they had a pretty good offensive line from what I saw.
I'm literally looking through. Anise Cooper, I don't even know if he gets drafted. He's 6'6". He's 350 pounds. He's a big boy. Big boy. Played over 1,000 snaps last season with the Hurricanes. And he's played right guard. I'll tell you this. Anytime people bring names up to me, I always try to look at them. But Tom doesn't have him ranked very high. So I'm not saying you're wrong, but most aggressive doesn't always mean good.
Yeah. Trevor Penning was the most aggressive tackle in his draft. He already got traded.
I was going to say, Trevor Penning, where he was Northern Iowa?
Yeah, and then he was with New Orleans.
Yep.
Then got traded to the Chargers. I believe he's a free agent now.
Yeah, I believe you're right. Billy, Mitch, do you think this is something that could happen? Trade out of the first pick to the Jets. Take those 4 or 5 first-round picks, trade Crosby for 2 picks. I mean, you're not going to trade Maxx to the New York Jets if that's what you're asking. Again, the only teams that are going to trade for Maxx Crosby are the teams that feel that they have a legit shot to win a Super Bowl. I would say the top teams that if I were to say top trade destinations for Maxx, I think the Rams are the number 1 team. I would throw in the 49ers. I would throw in the Bears. I would throw in the Lions. I would throw in the Eagles. I mean, there's been reports that 20-plus NFL teams are interested in Mad Max, but I really do not think that you trade the number 1 overall pick and you trade Maxx Crosby. Now, don't get me wrong. That is the definition of a full-on flipping rebuild, but I think that they're going to take Fernando Mendoza number 1 overall.
That would suck, because if that happens, the Raiders are winning another 3 or 4 games this next year.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that ends up happening. I do think trading Maxx Crosby is much more likely than trading the number 1 overall pick. But I'll tell you this. I would love to know Klint Kubiak's answer of if the Jets offered you 5 first-round picks. Because I don't think the Jets would. I really don't think that it would happen. But I do wonder what Kubiak would say. Like, hey, man, we'll give you pick 2, give you pick 16, and then 3 first-round picks next season. I mean, it would be interesting. As much as I say it would be interesting, and as much as I would be tempted, because in terms of deals, it's a good deal, I don't want the Raiders to trade away Fernando Mendoza. I want them to take their franchise quarterback. Because if Mendoza turns out to be a franchise quarterback, you wouldn't trade 5 first-round picks for him. At least I would. I want to start winning, and I just think finding a quarterback is the most important thing that we need to be able to do. Got to be able to go out and get a guy. Joe, what up, Joe? My free agent picks. Oh, I like this. If you guys want to give me your free agent picks, please fire away. My free agent picks are Devin Lloyd at linebacker. The best O-lineman, so I would say that's Tyler Linderbaum at center, Braden Smith, offensive tackle, David Edwards at offensive guard. Draft one of the Indiana wide receivers to pair with Mendoza, so Omar Cooper, Elijah Surratt.
Which people are saying that Omar Cooper might go before Elijah Surratt now.
Dude, the Omar Cooper hype is really, really starting to come together. I wouldn't want to take Omar or Surratt at 36, but they're not going to be there for you at 67. So I think the only way that you would get one of those guys is if you said, okay, I'm going to package maybe the 4th-round pick that I have and a 3rd-round pick and move up and try to go get one of those guys. Now, you still have 2 other 4ths. Like your 4th-round picks, I believe, are 102, 117, and 130. 34, I believe, are the picks that you got. So you'd probably have to package that to move up. Rodgers and Grant should start. See, I don't have a lot of confidence in Caleb Rodgers, and I want to believe in Charles Grant. Like, I really, really, truly do. But you can't take Fernando Mendoza unless you know everybody on that offensive line you have confidence in.
We've heard this song and dance before with the Raiders, and you have to remember, when a new coach comes in, he doesn't give a crap about where you were taken for the previous regime.
Correct.
You're not a Kubiak guy. Everybody that's on this roster right now, before they sign and draft players, all on an equal playing field with a new head coach. It doesn't matter if you were taken in the 2nd round to the 7th round. If you were a UDFA, Kubiak's going to look at everybody the same because he has no stake in it. He didn't take Charles Grant in the 3rd round. He didn't take Caleb Rodgers in the 3rd round. If they're not good, I could see both those guys getting cut. Like,
I don't know if they get cut.
I mean, if y'all sign enough, maybe not both of them, but if y'all sign some really good free agent offensive linemen, draft a couple more, and they're in training camp and they're not looking as good as those guys.
Well, anything's possible, right? Like, we saw the Raiders move on from Alex Leatherwood as quick as they did because they were like, this guy is a disaster.
Yeah.
So when you have new regimes, like Chugs is saying, they're not tied down to anybody. I don't think that they would cut Charles Grant or Caleb Rodgers because they're only in their 2nd year. But a DJ Glaze coming off the year that he did was awful.
But
I do wonder if that's more Carmen Brasilla.
If those guys don't look good, like if Charles Grant or Caleb Rodgers don't look good, why would they keep them on the roster? If Kubiak sees them during training camp and they're not 8 of the best offensive linemen we have,
yeah,
he's not going to keep them.
I guess I don't see that being a possibility for Charles Grant. I don't know if it's a possibility for Caleb Rodgers, but I also know that Rodgers is a very much like guy in that locker room. But then again, it's got to come down to talent. You got to get the best players on this team. Kika, what up, Kika? What about drafting a linebacker, Rodriguez, Goldie, Lewis? So I guess you're talking about Jacob Rodriguez from Texas Tech. He's going to be one of the hardest players to evaluate because he's always around the football. He's such a good football player, but he's not going to test well. Like, from an athletic standpoint, he's not going to test well. Lewis, I believe, is the linebacker from Pitt.
Yeah,
and I like him a lot. I actually had him in a mock draft.
Jake Galday is from Cincinnati. He's 6'4", 240 pounds. He's climbing up draft boards. He had a great 2025 season with Cincinnati. 105 tackles, 6 tackles for loss, 3 PBUs. Had a pretty good year for them, and I've seen him as a consistent 2nd to 3rd round pick in mock drafts.
And then Kyle Lewis, undersized linebacker, only 5'11", 224 pounds.
Looked awesome at Senior Bowl, though.
Did look very, very good at the Senior Bowl. Yeah, he was actually one of the players where if you go back and you look at my top Senior Bowl players to watch video that I did, Kyle Lewis is in that video because I would look at him as being instead of bringing back Jamal Adams, if you want a player to play that Jamal Adams role where he's an undersized linebacker, could use him as the box safety, a little bit of a hybrid, Kyle Lewis is an intriguing player in that regard. Ace Boy, what up, Ace Boy? Appreciate you tuning in, my man.
Oh, nope.
No, you're good. What's the difference between Shaheed and Tucker besides height? Can we use both at the same time? Who would you rather have if they cost the same? I don't think that they're going to cost the same. What's really interesting is Trey Tucker. I actually think people are going to love the way that the Raiders use Trey Tucker this season because he's a great blocker. Like, he is an outstanding blocker. When you look at a lot of the advanced metrics from a separation standpoint, Trey Tucker was a top 10 receiver last season in terms of separation created. It's just, Geno Smith sucked. This offense couldn't find ways to put the ball in his hand. But Rashid Shaheed is a better field stretcher. He's a better receiver, I would say, than Trey Tucker. But Trey Tucker, you could use more of as like a gadget player. Like, I wonder if you could use the way that Deebo Samuel was used for the 49ers a few years ago as like this just gadget guy. Could you use Trey Tucker in that same regard? Not to the the amount of touches, but just a lot of pre-snap, a lot of motion. Can you put the ball in his gut? Can you hand him the ball a little bit? But downfield ability, Rashid Shaheed is a much better downfield catcher. Like Trey does struggle a little bit with the concentration. If they both are at the exact same price, I will take Rashid Shaheed over Trey Tucker. But I do think that Trey Tucker is going to have a career year this upcoming season. Raider Tone, if we lose out on Pierce, trade a 4th-round pick for Jerry Jeudy. Jerry Jeudy was a player that I mentioned in my players to look at show, like trade targets for Kubiak, because Jeudy and Kubiak had overlap, I want to say in 2022 when they were together in Denver. Jeudy also is only 26 years old. And based on, I was talking to our Browns guy, he actually doesn't even think it's going to cost you a 4th. But if you told me right now I could give up pick 134, go get a 26-year-old Jerry Jeudy, I don't think that's the worst option, because Judy's best year that he had in his career was in 2022 when Kubiak was a part of that Denver Broncos offense. He's got a lot of concentration issues. He's got a lot of drop issues. But then at the same time, I wonder, is it all the Jerry Jeudy issues, or is it also just the fact that the Cleveland Browns have been a freaking dumpster fire? But I want Alec Pierce as number 1 option. If you can't get any other options, then I would entertain the idea of signing Romeo Doubs before trading a 4th-round pick for Jerry Jeudy. And I know the name value is, like, people would probably think Jerry Judy's the better receiver, and he might be. But also, I don't think Romeo Doubs is a bad fit at all for what we have. S-Dot, what's going on, my man? Barian Brown, wide receiver, has way more talent than any receiver from Indiana. Check the film in 40 time. 4-2 hands and route running, guarantee you.
This is the one thing that I think everybody gets the most mistaken in the NFL draft. Speed does not equal you're a great player. Because you run a 4-2, I'll tell you one of the fastest players ever to run in the 40-yard dash, Justin Ross. Was he a good receiver? No.
Darius Hayward Bay. Y'all.
Like, just because, and I would say, you say hands and route running, I would say those are 2 of his weaknesses for Barian Brown. He's a speedster, was at Kentucky, then was at LSU. His route running is maybe one of his biggest weaknesses going into the NFL. If you think he's better than Omar Cooper Jr., I very highly doubt your ability to look at the wide receivers in this class, because I think Omar Cooper Jr., 32 out of 32 teams say he's a better receiver than Barian Brown.
Yeah, I mean, I do think that no doubt he's got a high ceiling because of that speed, but the other thing that's going to be very important for Raiders receivers is you need to block. I need you to be unselfish, and Barian can't block. So
he's also 5'11" and 170 pounds soaking wet.
I think, again, we're looking at what do we need from a receiver standpoint for the Raiders. Like, do we need a field stretcher? Yeah, I think every NFL team could use a field stretcher.
Guys, just okay, and
but
also
this is a day 3.
Also, I'll say, just because you're fast doesn't mean you're not good. People are like in the chat, they're like Tyreek Hill, Chris Johnson. I'm just saying, just because you're fast, that shouldn't mean immediately select this guy.
Yeah, like we need receivers that are not only willing to block, can block. Like Jack Besh is a good blocking wide receiver. Trey Tucker is a good blocking wide receiver. Dante Thornton Jr. ain't a good blocking wide receiver. Alec Pierce, hell of a blocking wide receiver. Like Omar Cooper Jr., he could block. Like, I'm not saying he's to the level of some of these other guys right away, but based on the quick notes I just looked at from Barian Brown, him not being a good blocker does concern me. But if day 3, like round 7, we get a guy that can stretch the field, interesting. No doubt about it.
I disagree. I think Omar Cooper Jr. and Elijah Surratt are both going to be way better than Barian Brown.
I mean, it's probably more where they land, right? If Barian Brown were to land with like Kansas City or Buffalo, yeah, I can make the argument they might be better. Wide receiver destination is way more.
Come on, my guy. You said you can't put Barian Brown in the same sentence as Deion Sanders right now.
I mean, again, if they have the same speed's interesting. But Again, Dante Thornton Jr. might be the fastest receiver we got, and he's so far from being ready. DeAndre Mallory, what up, DeAndre? What up, nation? In my opinion, we should fix the O-line in free agency and draft all defense after we get Mendoza. This is more of the style I lean. I don't want to say all defense because we do have 9 picks, and I would like for the Raiders to invest in a few players on the defensive side of the football. But I do think that it does make a lot of sense for you to go very heavy offense because you need to make sure that Brock Bowers, Ashton Jeanty, Fernando Mendoza are the best version of themselves. And you have a offensive-minded head coach and Klint Kubiak. So if I'm willing to spend money, I want to spend money on offense because, again, X's and O's, Klint Kubiak. And then you look at a guy like Rob Leonard who I think one of Rob's best qualities is teaching and getting the most out of some of these players. And that kind of aligns a little bit more with the draft where it's going to take a little bit of time to get it going. But DeAndre, I agree with you. Like, I think that we should spend money on free agency on offense and go very draft defense heavy is kind of the route I would go. Beach Nut DeGreat. What a name. Do you think Khalil Mack has enough left in the tank to bring him home to finish out his career in silver and black opposite of Crosby? Do I think he has enough in the tank? Yes. But that really shouldn't be the question that you're asking. I don't see why Khalil Mack comes to the Raiders unless we overpay him. And I don't really think that it makes a lot of sense for the Raiders to overpay a 34, 35-plus-year-old player. Mack will always have a special spot in my heart, and then, probably have a special spot in a lot of Raiders fans' heart. 4 years with the Raiders, 4 years with the Bears, 4 years with the Chargers. But to me, the team that goes out and gets Khalil Mack is a team that's fighting to win a Super Bowl. As much as I want the Raiders to be fighting for a Super Bowl, I don't understand why we would give Khalil Mack probably like a 1, maybe a 2-year deal where you're paying him 12, 13, 14. I mean, guys, he could get $20 million plus a year, and if he gets that, let him get it somewhere else. Like, I'd much rather you spend money on a young defensive player and continue to learn with him. Do I think he has enough left in the tank, though? Yeah, he probably does. But I think the only way he comes to us is if we overspend, and I don't want to overspend.
Enough left in the tank. Would you get I've seen a couple of people mention him in the chat. Would you be interested in a 2-year deal for Mike Evans?
No, not really. Again, it's what's the price tag? The price tag is going to be a big part. Does Mike Evans help Fernando Mendoza in year 1? Yeah, no doubt about it. But Mike Evans also really looked like Father Time caught up to him. I thought so. I would just rather you invest in being young. Like, it's okay to be young. It's okay to rebuild that way. I don't want the Raiders to just try to slap a Band-Aid with a heavy price tag in free agency. Like, that's something that John Gruden used to do. Like, that's what the old school Raiders used to do. Let me just go out and spend a lot of money on a player and think that that's going to fix my position instead of looking at what truly makes the most sense for the Las Vegas Raiders. Mike Evans is an outstanding player. Doesn't mean that he's an outstanding fit for what we are right now. Bay Raider, Mike Washington Jr., 6'2", 223-pound running back from Arkansas. That's a thumper. Like, that does intrigue me.
Also, we don't know any of these guys 40 times until they go to the combine, or their pro day, which Mitch will be at.
I'll be at the combine. I won't be at the pro day.
So, we don't know if Elijah Surratt runs a 4.6. We don't know what he runs.
He's not going to run he's not going to run a great time.
I mean,
he's not.
How do we know?
Well, he's not.
Based off of what, though?
He's not fast. Like, he's not. I don't know if he's going to run a 4.6.
What are you basing he's not fast off of?
Watching him play.
And you watching him run some routes, you're like, he's not fast?
Well, he's not 4.4 fast.
I mean, multiple times he ran past the safeties and got, like, 50-yard touchdowns.
Sure, but he's not.
I mean, I feel like it's just like, this is like being like off of vibes. Be like, oh, yeah, just off of vibes, he's going to run a 4.6.
No, it's just anybody that watches Elijah Surratt run knows. 4.6 I think is slow.
But it's like, you don't know.
I think you have expectations. Like, you can expect a certain guy to run a certain speed based on the tape. I think that's common sense, no?
I mean, but like, I don't know. It's just like you're just like, oh yeah, definitely a 4.6. It's like,
Well, I didn't say he's definitely a 4.6, but I think it's safe to say he's like Elijah
I'm
Surratt's
saying-
not going to run a fast 40 time. But that's also not his game. I don't need Elijah Surratt to run. Dalvin Cook ran a 4.6. Like, to me, there's football fast, and then there's like you can get open and not run.
I just feel like it's based off of vibes right now of like, oh yeah, like I think maybe, but we don't know until he goes out there and runs it.
Sure, but also if you watch Elijah, I mean,
But being
you
like,
can't expect Elijah Surratt to run a 4.3. Like, that's not fair to him.
yeah, but like run a 4.5,
I think 4.5 is going to be his area.
maybe a 4.49.
I mean, and that's plenty fast. Like, I don't need Elijah Surratt to run a 4.3. I need Elijah Surratt to, if he runs a 4.49, like, dude, he's going to go then, no doubt, top 2 rounds. But that's just not Elijah Surratt's game. It's not. No.
I don't know.
I mean, let me see if Tom has any notes. I mean, I don't think saying it's based off of vibes.
That's what it feels like. It's just like, oh yeah, like I think he's gonna run slow.
I mean, you can expect. Again, when you watch certain, like, you can't, like, if you watch Chris Johnson, you knew he was going to run a fast 40 time because he was really fast.
All right, Omar Cooper Jr., what is he gonna run?
I don't know, but
exactly. We don't know.
Well, no, you don't. But you can have an expectation. Like,
What's your expectation of Omar Cooper Jr.?
Probably 4.48 is probably what I'd say. 4.48 to 4.58.
Sweet. What about Jordan Tyson of Arizona State? What's your vibe on him? What is he going to run?
I haven't watched enough of him. I haven't. I think vibes.
It's just based off vibes, like.
But it's not though.
It's like you watch 5 games and you're like, yeah, he runs a 4.6.
But that's also not vibes. Vibes is me like just being like that guy's going to run that time because.
But it's like, if you only watch the college football playoff, then you're like, I don't know, you watched 3 or 4 games of them.
I guess
you're basing it off a 3-game sample size.
For who?
Elijah Surratt.
I mean, there's a lot. He played a lot more games than just 3 games, though.
I know. Did you watch every game that he played this year?
I've watched Mendoza more than I've watched them.
See, it's like.
Yeah, but you can also tell, dude, if a guy is fast. Like, you can tell. But at the same time, they're like, I don't really think 40 times all that much matter for a receiver. I really don't. I mean, it really depends on what your fit is going to be, with the offense that you're going to be, what the quarterback is. I think 40 times for a lot of positions are one of the most overrated stats.
I agree in that, too. I think the 3-cone shuttle is way more important.
3-cone is by far more important. Like, one of the best things, like, one of the reasons, like, that I wrote down 3-cone drill, I'll never forget it because Tom loved Maxx Crosby because of his 3-cone drill. The quickness, the ability. Like Trey Tucker probably doesn't, like, Trey Tucker's 10 to 20-yard split is way more impressive than a 40, but, like, that's why you should try to use Trey Tucker in that 10 to 15-yard range more than using him as a deep threat. Little legs. Lorenzo, what do you think about drafting Jacob Rodriguez? I think Jacob Rodriguez is an outstanding football player. It's just where is he going to go? And that, like, Jacob Rodriguez is one of the most confusing prospects that I can't wait to watch at the NFL Combine because he's not going to test well. Like I'm telling you, he's just not going to test well. But if you believe, like, this guy is just a great football player and he's going to be able to find ways to help you win and be successful, then you invest in a guy like that. And to me, like, at the linebacker position, I'll invest in a guy like that every single day of the week because that can be your green dot. Raiders are losing Devin White, who's their green dot. Amari Thompson, my top 3 free agents. Number 1 is Tyler Linderbaum. Number 2 is Alec Pierce. Number 3 is Devin Lloyd. Sign Kavontae Turpin to a cheap deal as a kick return, punt returner. Love the content. Also get another live with my guy, Jack Lauderay. Is that who you mean? See, the only way.
Were you live with him before?
For the World Series. That would
Oh,
have been
yeah.
it. Though I told Jack the only way that I would do a show with Jack is if we called it the Jack and Mitch Show. For whatever reason, he didn't love that title, Jack and Mitch. I can't figure out why he didn't love it.
You even put his name first.
That's what I was saying. I was like, Jack, I'm doing you a solid.
Yeah. Jack and Mitch.
Jack and Mitch. Wasn't a fan. These are three very good, though, free agent targets for the Raiders. The Kevontae Turpin one is interesting because he's a Cowboy and was a Cowboy and is as athletic as he is. I wonder if his price tag could be a little bit higher. Personally.
He doesn't do anything
He
on
does.
offense.
He does absolutely nothing on offense, though. Like, he's a great gadget player. And I guess for me, I'm not going to just sign a player to be a kick returner and punt returner when you have the amount of needs that we do. And if I'm looking for a gadgety guy, you kind of already have a gadget guy in Trey Tucker. Well, Raheem Mostert's a free agent. Yeah, a lot of free agents here. McKay, Raiders fans need to realize we are in a rebuild. Spend money on young, promising players. Cheap on old veterans to fill gaps. No Hill, no Mack, no Evans. McKay, I agree with this statement. And we got to be willing to do the rebuild the right way. Like, the worst way you can possibly rebuild is the way that the Raiders did it last season. Like, the worst way you rebuild is you sign all players who are aging and you expect them to compete right away, and you totally disregard all the young players on your roster. That shouldn't happen. But like the reason why I want Alec Pierce, he's 26 years old. That's the guy you sign. That's the guy you build with, right? Like, if you go out and you get a dude like Nakobe Dean that's 25, 26 years old, you go out and you build that way. Like this is a smart thing to do. Like, you know, we might not want to talk about trading away Maxx Crosby, but trading away a 29-year-old Maxx Crosby to make room for a, 27-year-old Odafe Owe and a younger, Boye Mafe, 26, 27 compared to 29. Yeah, I get it. But, like, that is a big difference in terms of NFL and NFL contracts. It is.
Also, Hill might not even play next year. His knee got destroyed.
I mean, Tyreek Hill, Tyreek Hill's got a 0% chance.
Also, he won't play for the Raiders because of other rules.
Yeah, I mean, I saw the news happen. I was jogging on, would have been when the news happened on Monday. I was going for a run, and I thought to myself, do I make a Tyreek Hill video? And I'm all like rolling my eyes in my head, like just thinking about it. I'm like, do I just do a quick short? And I'm like, Tyreek Hill's never going to play for the Las Vegas Raiders. Then I get to work today, and I was asked why I didn't do a video on Tyreek Hill. So, spoiler alert, I'm going to talk a little bit about Tyreek Hill here in a little bit on the Raiders Report. Arbora, what up, man? Thoughts on Kobe Bryant, Seahawks safety? It'll be a trifecta. My favorite player of all time is Kobe on my Lakers, and my dog's name is Kobe. I do think Kobe is an intriguing option. It's really going to be how much you're going to pay him, because to me, I think Jalen Hawkins is a better cover safety than what Kobe Bryant is, and you can get Hawkins, I believe, at a cheaper value. Kobe could be a good fit on almost any team that he's going to go play for, but is Kobe good enough to be a free safety on every down? He'd be our best free safety. Like, I want to know the safety that we sign allows then Jeremy Chin and Isaiah Paul-Amal to not play free safety anymore. Like, where that's the other equation. Like, because I like Isaiah Paul-Amal. I don't like him last year because we didn't play him right. I like Jeremy Chin. So can we use those players the way that they're designed to be used? I also don't want to spend as much money at free safety. Like, I would rather spend big in the trenches, where Kobe could be one of the top safeties this market. Like, I believe Spotrac had his value at like $14 million. And that's, again, like, that's a little bit rich for my blood, and I wonder if that price tag went up because they just won a Super Bowl.
R.I.P. Kobe.
Chris Bowen, Mitch, how do you feel about Aaron Jones for a running back? I don't love it. It's okay. He's got to be, 31, 32 years old at this current moment.
I saw something that the Packers might cut Josh Jacobs.
I mean, I'll tell you this. I would welcome Jacobs back. I don't think Jacobs would want to play for the Raiders. Just, again, I know Jacobs has it tatted on him, but I also have talked to Jacobs' agent, and I don't think Josh would want to play for the Raiders again. I think what you would have to do is find a good RB2 that you know you can rely on. The name that I dropped earlier was Tyler Algier. Tyler Algier is, I think, the perfect RB2 for what we need. I need health. I need to make sure that you don't turn the football over. I need you to pick up 4 yards per clip. And when Ashton Genty needs a breather, wherever that is, at the goal line, he's got 20 touchdowns the past 4 seasons. He just had 8 this past year. I need to know that their job is a reliable running back. Jones is talented. He also has a lot of injury concerns, which I don't want to spend my RB2 money on a back that I don't know how healthy he's going to be. Again, you don't know how healthy any back is, but you could say it's off vibes. You could also say it's based off of what they've done.
I was going to say, more than vibes, J.K. Dobbins.
J.K. Dobbins is probably going to get hurt this year. I don't want to. You know. Everyone
if I was a betting man, I would make that bet as well.
Probably going to end up getting hurt this year. Stuttgart from Deutsch. What up, Deutsch? Do you and Chugs believe we can fill every single hole?
Huh.
Wow. In our roster and free agency and our 10 draft picks.
Shout out to Mardi Gras.
I hope so. Yeah, dude, that picture you sent me. The picture Chug sent me before we went live was one of the most disturbing photos I've ever seen.
Also, speaking about holes, you see Shia LaBeouf.
I heard he got pretty lit.
Oh, dude, dad.
I heard he got pretty lit up. The answer that I'm going for here is I hope. I mean, you got to hope that you can fill every single hole that we have, you got to hope. I don't really – there's plenty of needs, but then there's also the factor of I wonder so many times, is this player bad or were we just coached that bad last season? I think DJ Glaze is the perfect example of this we're sitting here going, we have a major need at right tackle. And I'm not saying I didn't think that last year. There was a reason why I wanted the Raiders to draft Armin Membu at right tackle. But, you look at DJ Glaze, he was serviceable as a rookie. He was awful in his sophomore year. Is that DJ Glaze is bad, or is that the coaching staff was bad? And because we didn't really feel like, I think, get a good look at a lot of our younger players, there's a part of me that wonders, do we have as many holes as we think right now? Because I can also say the coaching staff did not do us any favors last year, which everybody here would agree with. Robert Jansen, let's go to one more, and then I want to get into the final segment here on today's show.
Another holes question.
A lot of holes, dude. I'll tell you what, Raider Nation's trying to fill some holes today. How many of our holes? I almost just want to make a T-shirt of that. How many Raiders fans, what would be a good shirt? We have lots of holes that need to be filled. Slap that on a T-shirt. How many of our holes get fixed simply by a change of coaching philosophy and putting existing players in their proper position? So I agree, Robert, right? You look at Isaiah Paul-Lamau. Some people, I've already heard people we got to move on from Isaiah Paul-Lamau. I totally disagree with that. Just play him at the safety position that he's meant to flip and play. You're going to be able to see the Isaiah Paul-Lamau that you need. Could we see a better version of Darian Porter? That could be something to look at. Jack Besh, does he get some more work? Does Dante Thornton Jr. finally get coaching and he ends up looking like the player that he is? The offensive line, I don't know. What if Caleb Rogers, Charles Grant, these players are a lot better, but because our entire coaching staff last season was a joke, it does. It begs the question of how many of these needs are needs and how many of these needs are needs because of how bad our coaching staff was. I want to get in here to this final segment. Friendly reminder out there that if you want to get in our duck race, it's a $20 Venmo. Mitchell Renz 365. The last 2 names that I got were Cole Rommel and LCA, which means right now as it stands, winner would go home with $70 here on the show. I do want to just go grab some water. Can I just go grab?
Yeah, there is also some breaking news. News.
Is it on Robert Woods?
Yep, Bobby Trees retired.
Robert Woods retiring. Wow. Though, he's had a lot of injuries kind of pile up over the last few years.
Yep.
Based off vibes, that was probably another guy that was probably going to go down and get injured.
Based off vibes, he's the guy who's on everyone's cut list who actually makes the team.
Christian Wilkerson.
Yeah.
Christian Wilkerson. All right, I'll be right back. Let me just go grab a water.
Okay. Next one is from Jay Cueto. What are your thoughts on cornerback Chris Johnson from San Diego State, Dylan Thieneman from Oregon, and Emmanuel McNeil Warren from Toledo? Have not looked at Chris Johnson from San Diego State yet. Dylan Thieneman, I liked what I saw out of him as like a day 2 prospect, a round 2 or round 3 safety. I think the Raiders might be better off looking in free agency for safety because I think it might be better to look at offensive line, defensive line, linebacker in those middle rounds rather than a safety. Emmanuel McNeil-Warren, everything that I've read and heard about him and watched on him, he's going to be a first-round pick, which is kind of wild that Toledo, secondary players are going in the first round nowadays. They already had Quinyon Mitchell a couple years back, and now Emmanuel McNeil-Warren. But everything that I've seen is saying that he could go as early as the teens.
I'm actually a big fan on the Chris Johnson from San Diego State. That was another player that, if you go check out my Senior Bowl video, I talked about. Really, really good player. He's got a lot of juice to him. It's hard to find information on him around the draft because obviously Chris Johnson crushed the draft. But the homework that we did, he's a fun player. He's a fun player. If you guys look at, again, the Senior Bowl video that I did, is literally like the day the Senior Bowl happened. I talk about Chris Johnson in that one. All right, y'all, let's get into the final segment here on today's program. I don't know what that is. We're good. So the final segment here is going to be around some rumors. And when we first started doing this show, we would do the Chucky heads. So you're going to see some of the Just Win babies on this next segment. And it's around 3 rumors. And 3 rumors that I was kind of asked to talk about. One of them, the other 2, I figured, would just do pretty well. Would be good talking points. How about that? What?
Who asked you to talk about Tyreek?
You know. All right, y'all. Coming up, 3 Raiders rumors. We're going to get into some Just Win babies today. And then after that, final chance for y'all to get in the duck race. $20 Venmo. Chance to win $70. And then we are going to be giving away a Klint Kubiak Weird Kubiak shirt. If you send in a super chat, you're got to have a chance to win. You send in a $1 super chat, you get 1 raffle ticket. Buy Your Raider right now by far has the most. He's sending 100, so therefore he's got 100 raffle tickets. That's how it's going to end up going down. To the 1,000 people that are here, appreciate y'all. I really, really do. We're going to be making lots of content this entire off season. I hope that people always appreciate the content that we provide. I'm going to be live every single Tuesday, 4 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Pacific. I also I got a lot of fun things that are going to be happening on Friday as well. My dad, he comes into town tomorrow, so I hope that if I seem distracted, I hope I don't seem distracted. But if I do seem distracted, I'm not going to lie to you. All week I've been trying to get things ready for my dad for coming into town, so I was a little bit behind today. I'm not going to lie. New Breed, appreciate you, man. Rick Dennison is our best staff hire so far from Jay. We'll see. I mean, I don't know what Rick Dennison's exact title is yet, though. I mean, it could be run game coordinator. It could be offensive line coach. You're obviously bringing him in for a reason. Micah, what days are you live this off season? I mean, I'll be live essentially every Friday and every Tuesday during the off season, but then also, like, during free agency week, I'll be live probably every single day. Yeah, no, I told him that. We switched it, though. Oh, I got you. Okay. Gotcha. Okay, you ready? You guys ready? Coming up, let's talk about some rumors here on the Raiders Report. Raider Nation, I got a triple dose of Raiders rumors today to discuss. Tyreek Hill, is he going to be coming to the Las Vegas Raiders? You probably already know the answer to this one. Could the Raiders end up cutting Alex Kappa? And then Jim Schwartz, his name has been linked to the silver and black yet again. I know we already have a defensive coordinator. Imagine if Schwartz joined to help out Rob Leonard at DC. to make sure that you're always staying up to date around the Raiders, hit that subscribe button. But also, if you're a fan that appreciates free daily Raiders videos, we cover news, we cover rumors, free agency, draft. We're pumping out a lot of content. And I want to be clear, just because I talk about a topic doesn't mean I'm predicting that topic to happen. And I bring that up because when I first started doing this show, we would look all around the internet for rumors. And during the offseason, we talk a lot more about rumors because not as much news ends up going down. So you're going to see some just win babies. I used to call these the Chucky heads back in the day. If you see a rumor of 0 just win babies, it means it's not going to happen. It's tuck rule, tuck that. If I believe something is 100% going to happen, I will say believe it, baby. It's for just wins. So based on the likelihood of it happening, that is going to determine how many just win babies I decide to give each rumor that you see on the program today. So the first one that we're going to start here on this show is going to be around Tyreek Hill. Because when I saw this news happen on Monday, I didn't make a video for a reason. Because Tyreek Hill coming to the Raiders will never happen. Tuck rule, tuck that. Now, we work here at a company called Chat Sports. If my bosses tell me to talk about something, I'm going to talk about it on this program because at the end of the day, I'm always trying to do my best job to make sure everybody is happy. But in terms of Tyreek Hill coming to the Raiders, it's a 0% chance of happening. Miami released Hill on Monday, February 16th. And yes, the Raiders have a need at wide receiver. But not only is the idea of the Raiders signing Tyreek Hill, who has a domestic violence background, for those that do not know what the Fred Belindikoff rule is, Mark Davis, the Raiders, they've made a rule that they're not going to bring in players with domestic violence background, especially a wide receiver, because it would be a backhand to Belindikoff and that entire family. If you need to learn more about that story, I've talked about it 100 times on this program. Please go check it out. The other reason, though, why it doesn't make any sense for the Raiders to go out and get Tyreek Hill, I don't even know if he's going to play this season, dude. Like, that knee injury that he sustained might be career-ending. I don't know if Tyreek Hill is ever going to look like the Tyreek Hill that you're thinking about, but when you see odds get put out, and I'm not shocked that the Tyreek Hill destination odds have the Raiders in the top 8 because, let's face the facts, the Raiders have a need at wide receiver. Tyreek Hill is an intriguing name, comes from the AFC West, comes from the Chiefs, and it doesn't shock me that the silver and black were connected. But I want to be very, very clear. And I think everybody out here that watches this show knows that there's no chance in hell the Raiders are going to bring in Tyreek Hill. And if you know that the Raiders are never going to do it, I want you to click that like button. And if this video gets over 2,000 likes, I promise you this right now, I will never talk about Tyreek Hill ever again on a Raiders Report show unless the Raiders do the unthinkable. But it's never going to happen. Let's go to the next storyline here on the Raiders Report, and it's going to be around Alex Kappa. If you didn't see the video that I dropped on Friday, or it would have been February 17th on Tuesday, it's all around Raiders cut candidates. Alex Kappa was featured in that show, but when you hear it from other spots, maybe it's more likely to end up going down. I'm going to tell you the likelihood of the silver and black moving on from Alex Kappa. Before I do that, though, huge shout out to today's sponsor, Chubbies. And I have worn Chubbies for a very, very long time. Hell, I can actually remember the first time I put on a pair of Chubbies. It was the summer of 2018. I actually went to the brick and mortar store here in Dallas, and I played Mario Kart with the Chubbies dudes for literally like 3+ hours. They gave me some shorts. I walked out of there, and I was like, dude, these are literally perfect for work, perfect for the pool, the ultimate just chilling type of shorts. And then also for any golfers out there, their stuff, whether it's polos, whether it's like, they have everything for die-hard golfers. And I love Chubby shorts. I know you guys don't ever see my legs, probably for the best, because of how stretchable they are, how flexible they are, how great the boys feel in them. And if you want one of the reasons why I love all Chubby's gear, it's because of how soft, dangerously flexible, and incredibly quick drying, especially the trunks are. Also, with over 2.6 million customers, Chubbies clearly knows how to keep your thighs happy and the vibrations going as well. So for a limited time, Chubbies is giving our listeners 20% off with code CHATSPORTS. at chubbyshorts.com. That's 20% off your order with code CHATSPORTS. You can give your thighs the VIP treatment that they deserve with Chubbies. Support the Raiders Report. Tell them that we sent you. And if you've ever seen me rock any of the Chubby shirts, like if you're wondering which ones that they are, I have them right now here for you. I wear these shirts literally all the time here at work. They are the perfect work shirt. Honestly, dude, they're like the perfect shirt where if you're going to go to Las Vegas for a weekend, and I try to cut corners as much as I can, trying to save money, where Chugs and I, we were just out in San Jose, took a backpack, throw one of those shirts in. They literally do not wrinkle. Unbelievable fabric. Shout out to Chubbies for sponsoring the Raiders Report, whether you need some things for your top or whether you need some stuff for your bottom. I'm telling you, Chubbies is knocking it out of the park. Are the Raiders going to be cutting Alex Kappa? This one for Just Win Babies. Believe it, baby. If the Raiders do not cut Alex Kappa, shame on you, John Spytek. Because the only reason why I can wrap my mind around possibly keeping Kappa is that Kappa and Spytek have ties from their Buccaneers days. But there was an article. It was released by The Athletic. It was titled, One Potential 2026 Salary Cap Cut for Every Single NFL Team. Kappa was listed for the silver and black. He's got 1 year left on his contract. And because he's got 1 year left on his deal, when the Raiders signed him, it was a 2-year, I believe it was $10 million. And the fact that the Raiders can save $5 million by cutting Kappa is all the reasons that I need to why the Raiders should do it. Here's why The Athletic, though, said the silver and black are going to move on from him. One of the many Raiders' mistakes of last offseason was rushing to pay Kappa $5 million. He was coming off a season in which he played like one of the worst starting guards in the league, didn't look much better last season, and couldn't help a Raiders line that struggled. He's scheduled to make $6 million next season, but the Raiders can save $5 million, eat $1 million, by cutting him and adding to their wealth of cap space. This should be one of the easiest decisions of the offseason, and I completely agree. If the Raiders still had the Carrolls, then I could sit here and go, well, maybe we decide to keep them because the Carrolls just did dumb things over and over and over again. But for a Raiders team that you need to not only cut Alex Kappa to give yourself more money, cutting Alex Kappa then makes it easier for you to bring back Jordan Meredith. It also helps you invest in DJ Glaze, Caleb Rogers, Charles Grant, making sure that those guys are paid attention to a little bit closer. But for Alex Kappa, I can't think of a single reason why anybody from this organization would want to keep him. So there's not too often that I ask questions on this show that I think if you were to ask 100 Raiders fans, cut or keep Kappa, I think 100 people would say cut him. And don't get me wrong, I know that we have a need at offensive line. I know our offensive line depth is weak, and it is. We have weak depth on the O-line as it stands right now. But you also shouldn't throw money away just because you have a lot of money. So can we all right now real quick, everybody go down in the comments section and type cut, because I want Tom Brady to see it. I want John Spytek to see it. I want any person, Klint Kubiak, any important decision maker for the Las Vegas Raiders to see that cutting Alex Kappa is the only answer that you can possibly go with. If you want to say, well, Mitch, can we I don't know. Just cut him. I don't need him to be a part of this organization because you're going to keep him as a backup. I don't need Alex Kappa, who is one of the worst offensive guards in the NFL, to be a backup. I would rather any of the younger players be a backup for the Las Vegas Raiders. Coming up next here on the show, Jim Schwartz. We're still talking about Jim Schwartz, and the reason why I'm talking about him is because there's some important people out there that are still discussing the possibility of the power of the Schwartz joining the silver and black. Before I get into that, though, if anybody needs some Raiders Report gear, you can go to chatsports.com/RRshop, where you're literally going to be able to see all of the Raiders gear that I talk about here on this program. Now, if you want to know the exact link for some of this other products, you can. Like, we got a Kubiak shirt. We have our Sin City Drinking Team shirt, which, again, we got St. Patty's Day right around the corner. It's going to be here before you even know it. I mean, literally a month from today. The month from today that I'm filming, St. Patty's Day, the 17th. But if you think that we're Kubiak, get yourself a Kubiak shirt. If you know that the Raiders are going to draft Mendoza, go get yourself a Mendoza shirt. We are pumping out all sorts of Raiders Report merch, and every single link that you saw, Mendoza, Kubiak, Sin City, Raiders Report hoodie, everything that you saw, I'm going to put a link for you guys down in the comments, down in the description of today's show. That way, if you want to support the program, you can find the links very easily. Click on one of the bad boys and get yourself started with some awesome, awesome Raiders Report merch. Because at the end of the day, I want somebody to look at you and be like, oh, you watch Raiders Report? You guys meet each other, dap each other up, continue to grow this awesome community that we have. Let's go to the final rumor on the program. Jim Schwartz to the Las Vegas Raiders. Well, you know what? I'm actually going to give this one 2 just win babies, and I think that there is a coin flip chance that Schwartz joins the silver and black. And I say that because where there's smoke, there's fire. I say it all the time. And the number one team that's still getting connected to Schwartz is the Las Vegas Raiders. Now, I'm going to show you a quote here that I thought was very important. This is from Mike Florio from Pro Football Talk on Schwartz joining the Las Vegas Raiders. Based upon the people I have talked to since Rob Leonard was promoted to defensive coordinator, I've heard different opinions about this. But there is still a belief that Schwartz could still end up with the Raiders. Now, Florio has mentioned this multiple times, and Florio does have sources. Florio's been pretty off, I will say, this offseason around all things Raiders. But the important thing that we got to look at is the Browns, they still hold the contract rights to Schwartz. But Cleveland did just name Mike Ruttenberg as their defensive coordinator. Florio believes Schwartz joins the Raiders, and he says, quote, if and when the Browns release his rights. So here's the next quote that I think is very important. Assistant head coach of the defense, senior defensive assistant, something they could still try to land him if and when the Browns release his rights. I just think that Schwartz is too damn smart to give up, to cry uncle, and walk away. If he wants to coach this year, there's a way to pull it off. And the simplest thing to do once the Browns name a defensive coordinator is to say, I'm back, baby, I'm back. So Florio obviously put that quote out before the Cleveland Browns ended up hiring a defensive coordinator. But I also agree with him that if Schwartz wants to coach, he's going to be able to find a way to get out of the situation in Cleveland and then go coach again. Because the last thing that Cleveland wants to do, when you're a guy like Schwartz and you have the amount of connections that he does around the NFL, Cleveland already had a lot of issues hiring a head coach, getting a DC, keeping people a part of that squad. If Jim Schwartz wants to, if he probably walks into that room and goes, you better hope that everybody you got in here works out. Because if you burn a bridge with me, I'm going to be able to tell a lot of coaches that you don't want to go to Cleveland. And with all the decisions that Cleveland has made, I do think that that's something that they would have to be a little bit concerned about. Because Jim Schwartz has a lot of connections around the National Football League, and I do think that Jim Schwartz coaches in the year 2026. I just think it's 2 just win babies that he's going to join the Las Vegas Raiders. So just so you guys do not miss, it's going to be a crazy, crazy show. And obviously, it's going to be my birthday. I want you all to celebrate with me. But more importantly, I want you to celebrate for LA Crash Dog. He's going to be getting into Mount Raider more. On top of that, my dad's going to be in town. My dad's girlfriend, Amy, she's going to be here. I might even be able to convince my wife to show up on my birthday as well. But at the end of the day, man, I love doing this show. I love hanging out with all y'all. And I don't want you to miss our legendary Friday live show. So make sure you're subscribed. Make sure those notifications are turned on because we're going to be partying Oakland style. Let's go to Stephen Tate. Let's say we trade Crosby. Reports are saying a 2026 first and a 2027 second. Would you rather have that or a 2026 second and a 2027 first with how stacked next year's draft is supposed to be? The reason why I would take the first now and the second next season is simply because of what the value is. So if you're looking at draft value, the way that a lot of times like NFL teams evaluate draft compensation is like a 2027 first is basically what a second round pick is this season. That's on the trade value chart. I'm hoping that the Raiders aren't drafting high next season. So, you never know what it's going to be. But I also think if you go that route, it depends who you're trading with. But I put out a video last week in regards to some trade ideas that I thought could happen. And it's funny because as soon as that video has gone out, it's very close to what we predicted and what we talked about price tag compared to what's been out there. But, again, man, I don't know what's going to happen with Max, and I don't think that anybody can say that they do know what's going to happen with Maxx Crosby. I hope that he's not traded, but at the same time, I am on board for the Raiders trading him. Like I am perfectly okay if he's a Raider, and I am perfectly okay if the Raiders decide to move on from him. But if I had to pick, I would take the 2026 first and the 2027 second because technically it is worth more. But if you were to tell me that I'm trying to think of a team that option would be intriguing to me. A team that I think that they could be picking high next year. That might not think that they're – because, again, if you trade for Crosby, you think that you're in your Super Bowl window. So a team that could make a trade for Crosby and end up being bad next year. Actually, I think the Patriots is a very intriguing one. I agree with that.
I think the Patriots way overplayed how good they are.
Okay.
Had a easier route due to their schedule, some would say.
Because pick 31, and I don't think that I don't think they're going to be picking in the 30s next year.
No.
I think the Patriots are a really good example of that.
Patriots, maybe Broncos.
You know, you can't trade him to a division rival. I don't see him doing it. I would say, in my honest to God, heart of hearts, the top teams are the Rams, 49ers, Eagles, Bears, Lions, Cowboys. Those would probably be the teams I'd give you. Cesar Lorenzo, Mitch, what do you have planned for the Combine? Can we expect some interviews with some potential players for the Raiders? Absolutely. So I've never been to the Combine. The Chat Sports team goes every single year. So I'm actually going to be probably following suit a little bit more. But you're going to see, I'm going to interview Mendoza. You're going to see a bunch of clips from me, from a bunch of our different guys. But we fly in on Sunday, the 22nd. And then I believe we leave the 28th.
Which is that Friday?
I actually don't. I mean, yeah, that makes sense. Or is that Saturday?
You said y'all leave when?
The 22nd is when I fly to Indianapolis.
Uh-huh.
And then we fly back the 28th.
Yeah, y'all are.
You're
gone the whole week. You fly back on Saturday.
I mean, you guys are still going to get, weekly videos. You're still going to get, like, my live show.
Produced by Sam?
Sam's going to produce it. But the top objectives there are for me to meet people, make more connections, agents, players, all that type of good stuff. And then, any clips that we get, I'll share them on my social media, and then I'll also obviously share them here on the Raiders Report YouTube channel. So lots and lots of Combine stuff next week, which I'm excited about.
Mitch is going to try that shrimp cocktail from St. Elmo's.
Is it, like, legendary?
Yeah, that's, like, what they're known for.
Oh, okay.
It's like a legendary shrimp cocktail from the steakhouse.
I mean, I love, like, shrimp cocktail is probably the number one thing that I grew up with, like, in my family, my mom's and dad's side of, it's New Year's, it's a holiday, let's get some shrimp cocktails.
Oh, I love a good shrimp cocktail.
It could be a white person thing, I don't know, because I feel like Alex's family has never heard of anything like this.
No, they just have ceviche.
Yep.
That's
probably their version.
That's Mexican shrimp cocktail.
Yeah, that's actually better. Jay Cueto.
Or I had something called it was in Mexico called shrimp aguachile. Delicious.
Delish.
Very
hey y'all,
good.
Final chance for you to get in our duck race. $20 Venmo. Mitchell Renz 365. Right now you'll be in for a shot to win $70 here on the program. Let's go to I think it's Shep. Shep, random question. Any YouTube channels outside of football that you enjoy? Any chance of a baseball Chat Sports channel one day? I'll host. Let me loose. 20 pounds. We actually do have a Red Sox channel. It's ran by our guy Jack Lotteray. Actually, I used to also host a Yankees show back in 8 years ago on Facebook. Don't do it anymore. The problem is baseball just doesn't make as much money as a lot of these other shows, and the other part of it is it's just the game with 162 games. It's a lot. It's a grind, so it's just not as much. I don't think the juice is worth the squeeze most of the time. Jeremy's shaking his head, and he agrees. Outside, like other YouTube channels that I watch, what's sad is I really only pay attention to Raiders, NFL stuff. Once in a while, I'll watch Bob Does Sports. Like if I'm just looking for just something to just like eat some food, watch. But like I would say the number one show that I watch, and it's not close, is Guy's Grocery Games. Anything Food Network, anything Guy Fieri.
I was gonna say,
like I'm not kidding you. It's the number one thing that I watch. I watch the Food Network more than any other show.
One of my buddies growing up, now he was a friend of mine in like elementary school and middle school, and then we went to different high schools, so kind of grew apart a little bit, but we still talk back and forth on Facebook sometimes. He's actually friends with this guy named Joshua Wiseman, who is a really big food YouTuber.
Oh yeah.
If you just look up Joshua Wiseman. I watch a lot of his stuff too.
Okay. Yeah, I mean he's got 2.4.
Dude, yeah, he's massive.
Okay.
I
like food eating competition stuff. Like I'll watch all that.
You know what I've been really into?
Backwood Burner, no chance, dude.
Really into lately? It's this channel called I think it's Mythical Kitchen.
Okay.
But I've been addicted to their TikToks. It's this guy, and he basically interviews celebrities, and he just at one point during the interview, he starts it off with basically like, what would be your final meal? Like if you could choose all your favorite foods, what would it be? Like no limits. You can like choose like whatever you want for your final meal. What would it be? And then they eat through it all. And some people's are awesome. Some people, it's like he'll interview like an actress, and she's like, I want toast with creme fraiche and, orange zest. I'm like, get out of here. But some people are like go in depth. They're like, I want 2 smash burgers from this place. I want this. I want these 2 desserts. Like off the top of your head, what would be some like must-haves of your final meal?
Oh man, must-haves final meal. I guess it would really truly depend like what meal I wanted to have. I mean,
like no, it's like all your favorite foods.
Oh, I can pick as many favorite foods
yes.
as I want?
Like some people it's like they're like 7 main courses, 3 desserts, this, that, or that. Like what are some like your favorite things that you have to have on your final meal?
I would say I would want definitely some sort of like crispy chicken sandwich. I'm not going to get too picky. I would want some sort of cheeseburger. Like I would want a taco, crab legs.
Ooh, now we're talking. Anything specific from a restaurant? Like that you can think of like, this is my favorite thing from this. Like for me, I think one thing I would want
chocolate chip cookies and coffee.
Cheddar Bay biscuits.
See, I'm not going to get biscuits because that's filling. I want to eat, bro. If it's my last meal, shit. Like I'm gonna scallops. Can I get some scallops? Oh yeah. That's what I'm gonna go for. Aggressive. It's my daughter's first birthday. Can you shout out Cleo? Happy birthday, Cleo. You share your birthday with Michael Jordan, Klint Kubiak. February 17th, man. Cleo, happy birthday, which I'm actually surprised from Aggressive Master Raider.
Yeah, I mean, the one that made it through.
I'm hungry now from Butters. Yeah, bro, you and me both. You and me both.
Yoda said he would have a lingua taco on his final meal.
No, he wouldn't. I don't believe you. Mark, Juwan Jennings for our wide receiver 1 in Clint's system, hard pass. I'm not paying Juwan Jennings because Juwan Jennings is apparently looking for like $20 million a year. I'm not interested in that. I don't think that makes a lot of sense. If there's a receiver that I'm curious to see if they add, could they add a Deebo Samuel? And I don't want Deebo to be the number 1, so like I want to be very clear on that. But if they use Deebo as like this gadget guy, that could be an interesting option. But I said Deebo because 49ers is like how I thought of this. I have no interest in Juwan Jennings being a wide receiver. If Juwan Jennings is our wide receiver 1, I'm gonna have a heart attack. Yeah, I'm gonna have a heart attack. I mean, that can't happen. That can't happen. No chance. No chance. No chance. All right, I think we're all caught up. So let's run this duck race, Shep. I don't really want to get into it, man. At the end of the day, I'm gonna support people that I think support me, and I feel like I've addressed that many times, but he's going to do his thing. I'm going to do mine, and let's just leave it like that. But I promise you this, there's no chance him and I are ever good again. No chance, no chance, no chance.
Do you want to do the shirt first or the?
Yeah, let's do. Which one do you think you're ready? Which one could you
I'm
do
ready for
first?
both.
Let's do the shirt. So the first thing that we're gonna do is if you see this wheel, whatever it lands on, you're going to win a Klint Kubiak. We are Kubiak T-shirt is why we're going to be giving one away.
For his birthday.
And all I ask is, again, like I want people, like I appreciate when people, watch this show. I know people watch other content creators, but, I just, with all due respect to everybody that, like, if you respect me as a person, you won't mention Wi-Fi Will and you won't mention Graf's name in the chat because I'll just put you in timeout or we'll block you. So I just, please, we'll just leave it like that. Those are two guys that I have no respect for at all. So please do not. Please do not. All right, you ready?
I'm ready.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Let's get it going. Let's get it going. Let's get it going. Whoever this lands on, you get a Weir Kubiak T-shirt, which I actually don't think it's going to be. It's Shep! Shep, let's go, dude. That's actually unbelievable. Shep, you're definitely here. I see you down there below. It's actually hilarious. If you could, Shep.
And he just super chatted.
Yep, I was going to say he literally just did. Shep, 2 ways that you can claim your prize. Either Venmo me $1 at Mitchell Renz 365. That way I can get you all the information that you need. Or, I was going to say, you can DM me, but at this point anymore, DMing's just, it's too complicated for me. Because I'm not going to be able to see it right away. I don't know what your YouTube, or I don't know what your name is. So, Shep, if you could, please. $1 Venmo, Shep. Mitchell Renz 365. I'm obviously going to make you confirm that you are you. So, yeah, if you could do that soonish, that would be great, man. Congratulations to Shep. All right, final refresh here on the show. And winner's going to go home with, as it stands now, a little bit more money. It was 70. I don't know how much it is now. I have not gotten everybody in. I got, oh boy, much more. DeAndre Mal in. Anthony Green in. Amy in. Jose Salas in. Gabriel Ruiz in. And then Simon T.G. you in. $20 Venmo to win $130 on this show. Salas, yes. Yes. Cram, just joining. What happened? Nothing. Just we always go live on Tuesdays. 4 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Pacific. Today's Klint Kubiak's birthday. Give me some HBDs down below. 39 years old. Jay Rao, hello from Texas.
Is it crazy thinking now, like, does this make you feel old, or does it make you think that Klint Kubiak is so young, knowing that the guy who's running the Raiders right now is 6 years older than you?
It's a mix. Like, I feel like covering the NFL, it's a mix because I talk about the way I talk about Adam Butler, the fact that he's younger than me, like that's weird to me. Like I think Adam Butler, I think he could be my dad. You know what I mean? But then you think about Kubiak, you're like, oh, young, innovative guy, he's 39. I don't know. If anything, I look at Klint Kubiak, hired somebody from PFF, tells me this. If you know football and you know the team, who knows? You might be able to get a job underneath Klint Kubiak. Might be able to. Final refresh here. Yeah, going from 74 to 39 is crazy, but it's the right way to do it.
The Bill Belichick special.
All right, Shep, I just got you, man. Perfect. Shep, if you could just send me first name, last name, just comment. First name, last name, shipping address. And size. Actually, I need your size as well. But you can comment on that $1 that you sent me. I'll send you the $1 back once I put the order through, or else I'll lose track of it. So I need first name, last name. I have size, shipping address. Just comment it on that Venmo transaction that you just sent me. That would be great. Please. You guys seen the new YouTube channel called The Raiders Report? I would make them change the name. That's some BS. Strauss, if you could send that to me. because, yeah, we will. I'm actually going to look it up.
Is there another one?
I mean, somebody just said that there was. I'll try to find it. They won't be around for long, though. Strauss, if you could tell me, if you could send me a link, that'd be great. What did I win from Shep? You want a Weird Kubiak shirt. You want a Weird Kubiak shirt. I got you. Dale, what's up, man?
You ready?
Yep, I got you. 3, 2, 1, and here we go.
That happened to me on Texans. Some dude, but it was like an AI, and they took all my videos and AI'd them.
I mean, today's day and age, people are just.
Raiders Report won it. He said, "Let's see."
Yeah, I found it. Oh yeah, this won't be around long. Franco right now with a little bit of. I can send it to you. I found it.
I found it.
Yeah. Thank you. I actually
Oh
appreciate.
no, this is the same thing.
Yep, same thing. Yeah, it won't be around long, man.
Yeah, I think these are the same because these are the same thumbnails. I think this is the same person that did it to me.
Yeah, people are lazy, man. I don't know what people are doing. Amy right now with the lead. Is Amy going to win? Simon TG, Brian Blanca, no! Jose just wanted it more. I mean, look at that mustache. Big Raz, Mitch and Chugs. I never received my great tuna jersey I won before the season started. All right, I'll write that down, Raz. Oh, gotcha. Let me write that down. I gotcha. We got that one. Oh, that's interesting. The Browns and left guard Joel Bitonio agreed to move the void date on his contract to the start of the new league year in March. It was supposed to void on Monday. Jose, congratulations to you.
What does it mean?
You just received 130 doll hairs.
No one knows what it means.
On the Raiders Report. $130.
It's provocative.
Gets the people going. It gets the people going. Yeah, I mean, typically what those channels do is they'll start a YouTube show and then they'll sell it. So I'm going to guess that somebody sold that channel and then now just an AI bot took over it. But I appreciate you guys bringing that stuff to my attention because, yeah, it won't be around long. Shout out to all of y'all for tuning in to today's program. The next time that you're going to see me live here on the Raiders Report is going to be on my birthday, February 20th. I plan on going live at 1 p.m. Eastern time.
22? 23?
What?
What are you turning, 23, 24?
Yeah. I wish. No, actually, I really don't. Like, my 20s were cool, but my 30s so far have been way better than any year in my 20s. And I'm it's crazy I'm about to be 33 years old, but at the same time, you know, I do feel 33. I do. I feel 33 years old. Friday is going to be wild, Yoda, you know. Mount Raidermore is going to be showing up and showing out. So make sure you guys are ready. It is an earlier Friday show because I just want to try to get out of work earlier, just full transparency. That way I can enjoy my Friday with my dad on my birthday, and you know, we're going to go out and we're going to have some fun. So appreciate all y'all tuning in to the 753 people. If you're not already subscribed, hit that subscribe button. Turn on those notifications because I promise you this, nobody will do a better job keeping you guys up to date with all things going on around the Raiders all off season long.